Kane Ward on the show tonight.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? 3-time world champion. That's what's up, dude. I got like 2 pages of stuff wrote down about you. And alongside we got Justin here, which is his dad.
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
Man, I've been like a kid in the candy store, really waiting on y'all. I really have. Let's start it out. So you were 2 years old when you first started.
Yep, I was 2 years old. Started up at Flipside Water Sports in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, so that's the one. So you do a lot of talking about that. If you actually don't have a boat, you can go there.
Yeah, we're talking wakeboarding,
lines.
by the way.
Yeah, wakeboarding. What did I say?
Nothing.
Oh, wakeboarding world champion. I'm nervous, man. I've never had a 3-time world champion here. 12 years old now.
Yes, sir.
February 8th, 2 days after my birthday.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's all right. It's meant to be, man. Best friends. They actually brought me like a really cool wakeboard too, man. And I'm gonna put that thing right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be there forever. I'm hoping I can have y'all on like a lot. So
Hopefully, it's pretty cool.
Now, okay, so the one thing, y'all's video and stuff is unbelievable. And watching your video when you go to school, that was really cool. You know,
that's an old one. That's an old one.
It is, but yeah, it's still, y'all put a lot of thought into that.
We did. We
Yeah.
did. We had multiple people coming along with us on our trips trying to help us out.
Did y'all just do all that like right here local?
So that was actually Kane's idea. There was a guy that put out a video. His name's Ben LeClaire. And he did what's called a continuous pull. And he kind of stole it from another wakeboarder. Kind of goes back, but that was stolen from skateboarding.
Oh, really?
And so it's a pretty cool video where when you do a continuous pull, it looks like you have a really, really, really long line that's pulling you.
That's what I was thinking, because it really does. It just keeps on going and going
but
and going.
They clip it together to try to make it look like we're all going at the same time.
Oh, really?
So it's the magic of video editing. But Kane watched this video by Ben over and over and over. It was pretty cool. And so he was 6 years old. I think he was actually 5 at the time because it was wintertime. And he was like, I want to make a video like this. And so I was like, well, we can do it, but we got to get a winch. That's what you pull it with. It's kind of like a lawnmower engine with a really big spool with rope wound around it. And you pull it all the way out, and then you can winch through a pond. You can winch through a creek.
How far is that? How far can you go?
Depends on how long your line is. I mean, you just put whatever size line on it. So you got a driver, and you do the throttle, and it starts rolling it up. But it's tricky because the closer you get to the winch, the faster it starts going.
So you actually speed up.
It's pretty hard to do. But anyway, we had this idea, and I was like, well, Kane, we can't do what these guys have been doing. You got to have a purpose. Like, where are we going? What are we doing?
Kind of do your own thing.
So he's like, what if I rode my wakeboard to school? And Cassie's standing there. She's like, there's no way. And I'm like, no, we can do this. We can do this. So I start brainstorming, and, I drive around a lot for work. So I'm looking at all these different winch spots we can go to. Anywhere there's a body of water, how can we do this?
Yeah.
So it actually went through, where all did we go?
We went to one place where it was like through the city, like under these bridges and stuff. And then we went to a waterfall. The waterfall, I'd have to say, was one of the hardest because I would have to have somebody help me because there's no like stairs or anything to get back up. So I would have to climb up the rocks, like throw my wakeboard up there where the waterfall was.
It was worth it though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was worth it.
I guarantee you, man, that video's awesome.
Took forever.
Well, I think we started, and we did it in different days, obviously. It took probably a good month to do the video.
Yeah.
And we were under pressure because it was the first thing that Hyperlight trusted us to do. They gave us a wakeboard that was not even out yet. It was only one in the world to use on this. And they didn't even know us. The local rep knew us, but not the main guys at Hyperlight. And they were like, who's this kid? And what do you want to do? So it was pretty cool. Jeremy Baker, the Hyperlight rep, was like, trust me, just let him do the thing. Well, I'll get the board back later, whatever. So we went through, we used my mom and dad's neighbor's pond in front of their house. So that's when he comes out of the.
That's when I saw that, yeah, because I was talking to you about that, yeah.
So we used that. I'm trying to think of all the different locations. So he goes, that was actually the last shot we did.
Yeah, because we tried it at our grandparents' pond at first. But then it wasn't going to work out because we didn't have a section where we go through like trees and stuff to get
to disappear and go to the
that's
next.
what, yeah, I saw.
So you have to have like a clip to connect to the next. So that's how.
So that way it looks like it's one long
That's how the
ride.
water with the waterfall. It had trees right there, so you would go through that.
If you want to see this, just Google Kane Ward shred to school. That's the video.
Shred the school. That's what ripping. I've been seeing a lot of videos you ripping. I'm learning this lingo, bro.
Yeah. But anyway, we did let's see, my mom and dad's neighbor's pond, and then it went to Ingram Lake. We did some shots on Ingram Lake.
Really?
Yeah. There's a couple out there. We had like a kicker set up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
And then we did there was a place in Oxford that where he goes under the bridge.
That's what I was about to ask, because it looked like it was like a bunch of like tree limbs and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, and he had to lay down like really low to get under this bridge. I was kind of questioning, is he going to really get hurt? And the crazy thing was there was a cop that pulled up right when we get it all set up. And I'm like, just stand here. Don't do anything. Cassie's out there with us. I'm like, we were on the way home from Six Flags. And I was like, this is the perfect time to hit this spot. So we get out there and the cop pulls up. I'm like, God, he's going to kick us out of here. And we wait. And I was like, just go. We'll hit it one time and hopefully we get it. So we got the cameras all set up and we wound up doing it 3 or 4 times. He never said a word. So I was like, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But we did that. The waterfall's in Winfield. And then he went through right beside the Von Braun Center in Huntsville. That's where the guys were holding the newspaper. Yeah. We had to do that location twice because the first time we did it, the drone that's following, it was kind of, the sun had gone down behind the buildings. And so the lighting was terrible. So I rushed back up there on a Sunday afternoon, try to catch the sun just right. And people started coming out from everywhere. And I'm like, please just go away. Please go away because there's security guards everywhere. And here goes Kane through the middle of downtown Huntsville on a wakeboard. And I'm like, just let it work. Please let it work. So
it did. That's awesome, man. That is.
Yeah.
That was really creative of you too.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest clips we had. But
yeah, it is.
I was younger on. So I didn't really like want to get in trouble by the cops because I learned at school like do safe stuff around the cops, but we
keep it chill around the law.
Yeah.
Keep it chill.
We ditched that plan.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Every once in a while, I think the law needs to be broken. I'm not one to like give you really good advice, probably. Which I've never spent a night in jail. I have survived that, knock on wood right here, but yeah, I've never spent a night in jail. So at 2 years old, so you ever tell people, hey, I started wakeboarding before I started talking?
Not really. I try to be humble about it.
I know you're very humble, yeah. There's what about let's see, I'm not looking at my notes. I've been listening to his stuff for like all day. The ridiculousness.
Okay, that was pretty cool. I never really watched the show before, but I've seen it a few times with my friends. So I knew it was like fails and stuff. But then they hit us up on Instagram and they wanted to shoot a video with us. And I was like, wait, we don't post fails on Instagram and stuff, except like a few double clips and stuff, trying to battle with that. But they wanted a clip from it was like 2 years ago, which was the high five clip where I flip over my dad, and that was actually took in like 1 or 2 takes.
Wow.
And so it was pretty cool. Then we sent in the video, and we tried to watch the clip of what it looked like on Ridiculousness, and it was pretty cool. So we posted it on Instagram, and would it get like 1 million views on Instagram?
I don't know if that one did.
I don't know, but it was
a lot.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
I've watched that show. I like it. I like Rob Dyrdek. Do you ever skateboard?
I do. We recently just got a skate park in Coleman, but we have a big one in Birmingham. We've been up there a few times after we wakeboarded at Flipside. So it's pretty cool up there. And then I've made some friends at the skate park, so we'll skate sometimes.
Cool. So anything with a board, you got it. What about an inner tube? I've been hearing you on these inner tubers. You don't like somebody doing donuts and like on the wakeboard. That's what they always do. They always just get right out there. They just do donuts. Like it's just like a figure eight or something like that.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing about inner tubers, and we don't own the lake. And we can told that 1,000 times fishing.
Same
thing with fishing. The worst is sea-doos. They're the worst.
Yeah, that was always.
I think everybody can say
sea-doos are kind of scary because I've heard stories of people like getting hit by them because like they would fall and the sea-doos don't know and they're ripping across the lakes and don't even know and they'll hit each other.
Because y'all are throwing big wakes, so of course they want to get behind y'all and go. Yeah,
and the inner tubers do too. They want to ride behind you. But so, just to give you a little bit of etiquette to water sports, you want the water as smooth as possible.
I was going to ask that, wind and all that kind of thing.
Well, wind does. But if it's a really calm day and it's really nice, you want that glass condition where the water's just super smooth. The worst is when you get out there and you've put all the time and effort into getting on the water, and then here comes some guy right in the main channel where you're going to ride, and here they are cutting donuts, just destroying the lake. And you're like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I get so frustrated, but you can't say anything. I don't know the lake.
Yeah.
But, here recently, everybody is a professional fisherman, and I'm not knocking on fishermen, but
I know.
we try to be courteous, and they don't like us because we're throwing large wakes, and I get it. But I can't help you when everywhere I go, there's somebody fishing. I can't stay away from it. And we're trying to find smooth water. I know fish probably bite better in calm, areas.
See, I always like a little bit of wind stuff on mine, honestly. I don't think I've ever looked back at a wake boat that was like messing me up. Ever. Sea-doers, because you're on this little bitty thing. Get away from me, dude.
Yeah, like gnats.
Yeah, and just run around you and stuff. It's like I'm not even moving. Do you think you're going to jump away off my trolling motor?
Man, the fishermen, I swear. And again, we don't own the lake, but we'll go out there, and it's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It's perfect time to go ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at 2 miles of just absolute butter. Perfect. All right. It's like, okay, let's start reeling some tricks off. And here comes some fisherman doing 100 miles an hour and just S-ing right in front of us.
I was one
and I'm like, I just destroyed 2 straight miles of glass,
Yeah, we've had a couple of times where we go out after school and we get out there, this glass, and then like fishing boats just start dropping in. And like all of a sudden they're just ripping out. And
we used to, so when I was wakeboarding, we live really close to Lake George. Mm-hmm. And Lake George is 1.5 miles long. It's really short.
Yeah, it's very small, yeah.
And so when me and my buddies discovered Lake George, the dam had broke on it, and all the water was gone. It was like a creek.
See, I didn't even know that, actually.
Then the city came in and spent a bunch of money on it and fixed it. It fills back up with water, but there's no fish in it. So I'm not kidding, for like 3 straight years, we didn't see a boat. We had the place to ourselves. Well, then slowly fishermen start coming in. That's around the time when Kane starts wakeboarding. And I remember one day we pull up and Jordan Lee's coming back in his fishing boat when we're putting in. I was like, Jordan, I can't believe he's a professional fisherman here in Coleman. I'm like, what are you doing fishing in Lake George? He goes, well, all these fish that I catch in the tournaments, I'll let them out in Lake George because we're trying to stock it up. I said, if you tell anybody you're putting fish in this lake, man, we're gonna throw hands because everybody and their brothers gonna be over there.
Yes, they'll be like, I caught this fish. I know Jordan released it. Yes, Lord, golly. So you wakeboarded. You always kind of wakeboarded, or you did wakeboard a lot, right?
Yep.
And that's how Kane falls into this.
Yeah,
basically, right?
So my dad taught me how to water ski when I was really, really young. Mm-hmm. And then me and my buddies would do anything behind the boat, barefooting, just crazy stuff on knee boards, anything that, we'd have flat bottom boats out there pulling each other, doing whatever, anything we could get our hands on. The boats were nothing like they are today. It's crazy difference. So anything that would go fast enough to pull us on the water, we were out there doing something, And so anyway, fast forward to like my first year of, I guess my early 90s, I can't remember, wakeboarding started getting popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that looks cool. That looks fun. I really want to do this. So I started riding. And then like my first year of college, there was these two guys on Smith Lake, Matt and Steven Sims. Their dad bought them the first wakeboard boat on Smith Lake. And so I was like, I got to meet these kids. They were younger than me at the time, but I started riding with them a full summer. And they had this guy that was coming out of Nashville that was kind of like a somewhat of a pro wakeboarder. And he would stay with them all summer and give them lessons.
Really?
So anytime I could hook up with them and go ride and learn whatever they learned, I was doing that. But, I got into racing motorcycles and doing some other stuff, and I walked away from it. And then right as Cassie and I were talking about getting married, I was like, you know what? This is a really selfish sport. I really liked wakeboarding. I'm going to sell all the stuff and buy a boat. So I did. Me and my buddy start riding all the time. And then Kane comes along and it kind of died back down. But we went out and took him riding, and I would put him on the board in between my legs and let him ride around with me.
I remember it, yeah.
Was it the 210 that you bought?
Mm-hmm.
He decked out that boat. Like, it was cool. Like, he handmade, like, black and gray camouflage on the boat and, like, made it all decked out. And it was pretty cool.
It was a cool boat. We had it for quite a while.
Yeah, but then he ripped it off, and then it was black and white. I guess he got bored of it.
What kind of boat? Like, what's your favorite? Or what kind of boat was that one?
So back then, the premier wakeboard boat was a Nautique 210 and or 230, either one, 21-foot boat or 23-foot boat. And those were like the best wakes around that time. And then the boat started getting bigger, and then you see what they're riding behind today.
Oh man, I know.
Yeah, they're so nice, they're so big. But like, we would just put so much ballast in that boat to get what we thought was a big wave.
Wave in the back.
Yeah, so you the more water you displace, the bigger the wake is. So the bigger the wake is, the more airtime you get. And, you can progress your riding and your tricks.
See, that's what seeing y'all jump and stuff. Like, how much air do y'all actually, like, is there any way to, like, scale that? Like, how high you actually get whenever you're, like, doing a trick or whatever? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I see you, like, you'll swing way out, and you get your momentum, and you come back up, like, how high do you think you go, probably?
You can't really measure it, but the wake is, I don't know, I'd say maybe 2 to 3 feet.
Feet tall, the wake is?
Mm-hmm. And then, so, that's like a quarter of the boat. So you would, once you jump that way, you're already like.
So you can kind of measure it like based off their height.
Yeah. So
because it looks like
kind of pencil it out.
It's like soaring, man. I mean, it's like way up there, especially when y'all do the board like behind. He does like the Superman or something.
We had one clip of that. It was from the product shoot. And of course, he zooms in all the pictures and stuff to make it like just me, not the boat.
Yeah.
But when it was wide, I don't know, like
I'm gonna say 12 feet, somewhere in there,
really?
above the water.
That's high,
like
though.
above the boat.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
for
high.
somebody that's, how tall are you?
Like 4'11".
Yeah, I mean, that's up there too.
Yeah.
Do y'all? Okay, so y'all, like the boats y'all have now, though, you fill up the back of those things with like water, right? You pump the water in.
The old school way used to be, seriously, people would take waterbed mattresses and throw them in the center of the boat and fill them up. And then a company came out, Fat Sack. They have all these different water pumps and stuff, and so you could throw those in storage compartments, fill them up, just anything to make the boat heavier and displace the water to create a good wave. But anyway, so right now we ride behind a Nautique G23.
Yeah, so now they have stock ballast.
Everything is subfloor. You just flip a switch and you don't have to take up your storage space. You don't have to mess with all that stuff. It's all.
Is it down in the hole, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hole space down there. I know there's got to be.
The boats are so much deeper. Like, for instance, the early wakeboard boats, sitting on a trailer, you could walk up and it was like chest high. You could look down on the boat. Now they're 7 feet off the, you can't, it's so big.
The bigger the wake, the better.
To a point.
Well, it depends. Like I like my ramp, my wake rampy, but at the same time big, so I get more air.
Yeah.
So, but looking back at like the 210, which we used to ride behind, it's like sea-doo weight compared to that.
Really,
So,
on them.
Yeah.
Do you surf? Do you ever do the surfing behind there?
I do. I surf a little bit. I try to get into it because every year we have to do. They have new Gromcast boards, which is a type of surfboard for kids. So I have to do like pictures and stuff on that.
Yeah.
So I got to get a little good at.
A little good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're gonna be good.
No, I'm not that good.
He's not the greatest surfer.
Really?
You don't like it?
I'm riding around behind it, maybe a 360 here and there, but that's about it.
Really?
Yeah, I guess.
I was figuring like you was already like, yeah, I'm trying to do a flip, laying back on the board
No.
again. No.
Well,
So is the surfing harder to you? Does it come harder to you?
Well, I don't know. It's
You
just
just practice the
it's-
others so much,
it's-
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm used to like edging so hard that like when it comes to like a surfboard, then I'm like, oh, I'm on the water, so I need to edge this hard. And when I edge to go up the wave, my heels just fly off, and I'm like, oh,
You're trying to do too much, man.
yeah, I'm trying to do too much.
You gotta do like me. Just fall. My brother Adam, when he lived on Smith Lake, he had this old wakeboard, and we didn't have any boots for it, like.
Mhm.
And it was so funny. We got this thing, and he had a ski nautic. It was an older model. I think this thing might have been like an 80s. It was, we were going to try it, of course. But I fell, and the board just completely broke off from the boots. We were like, never again.
And
So
we're
he
done.
ended up putting a pad on it, and we ended up we would get like 5 or 6 people to like sit in the back of that ski nautic,
Yeah,
and he would surf behind the boat.
nice.
I think he run like, 6 mile an hour, 7 mile an hour?
About 10, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my wakeboarding story. It's pretty cool.
Short lived.
Yes, it was. You ever broke one?
No, I haven't, but we got backups.
Yeah.
Just in
But
case.
I haven't yet.
Yeah. Have you ever been injured?
No.
No, you're
Knock
not.
on wood.
Knock it. You better knock it, man.
Yep.
Well, you do have a little bit of an injury story from the cable
yeah.
park. Let me explain this real
The,
quick.
the cable park and the whirlybird. The whirlybird, it wasn't as bad as the cable park.
So there's 2 different kinds of wakeboarding. You've got wakeboarding behind a boat.
Mhm.
Well, I guess you could say 3, but you've got wakeboarding behind a boat, which is what everybody knows of.
Like his competitions.
Yeah, and then you've got cable wakeboarding. So there's 2 different kinds of cables. There's a 2.0, which is there's one in Birmingham, Flipside Water Sports. It's at Oak Mountain State Park.
That looks awesome. I've seen
Yeah.
videos there.
So what that is a 2-tower system where you go one rider at a time, and usually they'll have jumps and rails and kind of like a skate park on
Right.
water. And it's the perfect mix between snowboarding and wakeboarding because it has that feel. The boards actually are flexible. They're made to kind of bend along with whatever features you're hitting, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But anyway, the cable has a driver, and they will pull you to the other end of the lake. You turn around, and it'll pull you back. Then you have a full cable, which is usually like a 5-tower system. There's one at Lake Point right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. It's one of the nicest ones in the U.S. And so it's a tower system that will pull you around basically like a
So you
big
can just
pond.
stay on as long as you want.
Well, they'll limit you because
really?
there's usually it'll pull like 5 or 6 people at a time.
Oh, okay.
And so you're going around this big lake or pond, and it's got all kind of features for you to play on and different things
It's
like
got the
that.
ramps and-
It's it's wakeboarding, but it's a totally different sport. It's 2 different disciplines altogether. These kids that are riding cable all day, every day, it is insane the things that they're doing. But it doesn't translate over to boat, and boat
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
translate over to cable. But Kane rides cable. He's much better at boat because we just ride boat way more. There's kids that are insanely good on the cable but ride boat, but they ride more cable. It's just kind of whatever you
just
do.
depending on whichever
Yeah.
one you do the most of.
Yeah, but what these kids are doing on the cable parks is nuts.
Really?
They're so good. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
And their air awareness and stuff of where rails are and stuff is it's crazy.
So So there's like a lot of good ones. It's like riding the rails and doing
they're
jumps.
flipping onto rails. They're doing crazy stuff like that.
Really? Stuff you could do, possibly?
Maybe in the future. But
I would just imagine the boat would be harder for me because you got all this. You got the wave. You got the wind.
So many variables.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's
cable to wind doesn't really matter. It's much like it's aggravating to a point.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad because once you get onto a rail, there's no water that's like
smooth.
It's only below you.
I know. I know what happened if I tried one of them rails. 911. I have a kneeboarded though. I'd say I was decent.
Yeah.
I could actually spin around and hold the handle behind my back like this.
Can
you do that? Don't lie to me. Can you do that?
Never tried to.
Have you really not? Never tried a kneeboard?
I haven't.
Man, it's so funny. And
I've never even strapped into a kneeboard.
Have you not?
No.
Golly.
I almost died on a kneeboard one time.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was thinking that he was gonna be like,
Wait,
man, kneeboard.
Tell him about that cable story though.
Oh yeah. So I mean, you can tell the story,
okay.
but
I'll tell it to a point, and then you got it.
Okay.
So we were out there for a product shoot for Hyperlight, and it's a full cable, so not the 2.0, just the down and back.
Right.
So it's going around, and so there's this thing called a pool, and it's pretty much what it is. It's a pool, but like larger, and
It's
then
elevated.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you got ramps going into it, and then like a rail out of it. So I was trying like tantrums into the pool, which is a backflip.
Okay.
And they were videoing that, so like taking pictures of it. So and then I fell in the pool. So I was like, hey, what if we take a picture of like me sitting on the thing? Because they were all airing over. So I was like,
the other Hyperlight pros were out there. It was a big.
So they was going.
They were taking tons of pictures for the new products that were coming out.
So I was like, what if I sit here and I like point up into the sky at them because they're going like 10 feet over me.
Kind of like jumping over you.
They're like high over me. So he's like, yeah, it's a great idea. So I'm pointing up. It was cool. He was getting perfect shots. And so we kept doing it. But then one guy fell. And the rope came around. And I knew, but I didn't know that because sometimes it goes around the ramp, but sometimes it comes up on it. But I didn't know it came up that high on it. And it came up onto the ramp. And it caught my neck. Like went around my neck.
Oh my gosh.
Caught it.
It was scary.
And it dragged me for about 5-6 feet. And I couldn't move my neck.
It burned. His
burned
really
and then
bad.
you can tell the rest of the story because Rod, the cameraman, grabbed me, and you can tell the rest of the story about how we
So the guy operating it, did he see what had happened?
Well, where it happened was like kind of on the back side of the lake. So he really didn't know what was going on.
See it, so he could have drug him for a while.
Well, on a full cable, it's just going. Like you don't. There's no driver. It's just you got 5 or 6 handles just going around.
You just got to catch those things and then get up.
Well, you start on a starting dock, and it's like a carrier system that picks up your rope, and then you take off.
Kind of like ski lifts.
Kind of like that.
If you fall, you're done. You swim out, go back, get in line.
Just walk around.
There's no like catching the rope going.
Yeah, so I'm actually working. Set off to the side. I got my computer going, and I see him, and I'm about to go get him and say, "Hey, you need to get out of the way. Go back to the starting dock." And I see the cameraman Rod. He's out there, and he's like, he's got him, and I'm like, Rod will tell him to go back if he needs to. So they're taking pictures and all that. I'm like, well, he's got it. So I'm sitting there working on my computer, and then all of a sudden I hear Kane just screaming. I'm like, what in the world? One of them hit him. Somebody hit him. I'm thinking in my head. So I go running down there and jump on one of the Sea-Doos, and I'm flying around to the pool, and Rod's like carrying him over to the side.
Oh, God.
And I'm thinking, what in the world happened? Well, then Kane stands up. He goes, I'm good. And so I kind of relax, and then I look up at him, and I see, like, his neck is bleeding.
Like, it was, yeah.
Oh, so what burned you that?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, dude, you are not good.
I had nothing on. Like, I took my vest off and everything. Like, my vest and stuff was off. Like, it was, all I had on was my shorts.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, I know. I mean,
It was
rope burn's terrible. Dude.
And it's like the rope that we're using. It doesn't have like silicone.
It's just
over
nylon
it. It's just
rope.
like, yeah.
That yellow nylon cheap rope.
Yeah, that'll go to the bone. Man. Yeah. That's a bad deal. I remember like lassoing and stuff. Like we would try to like lasso a horse or whatever, and it'd burn your hands.
Oh yeah.
God,
I remember going to school that day, and the teacher was over here, and she called me to try to get me, like to get my attention. And I was like, I couldn't move my head, so I'm like full like moving my whole body over and she's like, "Are you okay?" And she didn't know because I had a hoodie on. I was kind of covering up, and like so I showed her, and she's like, "Holy crap!" She's like, "Wait," and so she saw
It was a good one.
scar. And
that's scary, man.
Oh, it was very scary.
Yeah, like things you don't think about.
Mm-mm.
You know, I mean, like that. You don't think about that.
No.
Happen. So on the world titles, you were how old when you won your first one?
Was it not 6 or 7? No, it was 8. 8. Yeah, it was 8. Callaway Gardens.
Where is this?
It's
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. So sometimes they have the world here.
They actually had it the last 3 years in Georgia. So his first year we competed was in Cancun, Mexico.
That's what I remember. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
And then because of COVID, they kept bringing it. The majority of the riders are out of the U.S., but you do have a lot of Australians and Italians that ride. But a lot of those, they live in Orlando. Like
really?
Orlando's the hub of wakeboarding. It's where everything goes down.
So what they have like do you ever go in the ocean? Do them people go in the ocean and wakeboard, or is it mainly just
you can, but you would prefer a wake, like we said. You would prefer smooth water, so you can just imagine
create your own
yeah.
and stuff.
We did a tournament 1 year down in Orange Beach, but it was in the bay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
the bays are actually they're very calm.
It was not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still had to deal with a little choppiness, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to bass fishers out there throwing wakes and stuff.
Yeah. I'm one of the guys that used to want to cuss.
You know, as weird as it is, we get so aggravated with fishermen sometimes when it's just a perfect day.
I know.
And the thing is they go like from shoreline to shoreline, and so the rollers just go all the way down the lake, and it just destroys the lake. But I really think that has helped Kane over the last couple of years, because when you ride a tournament, you rarely ever get good conditions. Yeah. And so most people practice in perfect conditions. Well, we're always going over bass boat rollers.
Smith Lake and stuff. I mean, y'all practice Smith a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a busy place. I mean,
Man, it's crazy how many houses they built on Smith Lake. It's so much traffic.
I wonder where all these people work at, to be honest with you. I mean, Gunnersville's the same way.
Yeah.
You like Gunnersville? You ever go to Gunnersville much?
Not much.
Not much. That water there gets pretty rough pretty quick.
You're swimming around in milfoil all the time. God, it's everywhere.
You ever hit a log?
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, you jumped
Well, yeah, I've jumped logs and stuff. Like, when I was younger, we used to try to jump over cows
I've got a picture somewhere. So in Lake George, there's a pasture that comes down, and cows would come down there and get in the water, and he'd ollie over them.
Cow jumping, that's a new thing for cow tipping.
But I nose picked one time.
Did you?
So
he went tumbling over.
I went to go and ollie over it, and I remember I was like, I'm short, and the nose of my board hit it, and I just like tumbled over.
That cow, man, you can see the white of his eyes, and he took off running up in the pasture.
Cow don't hit me.
You're probably not only are you, I know I don't say this term right, the front flip, like Guinness Book of World Record holder, but you're probably one of the very few people that's ever hit a cow with a wakeboard. you got to think about that one for a minute. Yeah. That just goes to show where we're from. You know, yeah.
So I've got to stop the wakeboard talk for a second.
All right, we're going to take a break here.
Kane had a question to ask you.
Okay, so you talked about knowing my mom, right? So
very good friends with your mother.
But so I heard that you like brownies a lot. What have you? I want to hear your side of that story.
Oh, my side's the truth.
I'm gonna get my popcorn over here.
And I get some popcorn. your grandmother, Donna, was in on this too. But me and Cassie were really good friends. Like, she was probably one of my best friends, you know, as a girl or whatever growing up. She was the one I called when I was having girl problems or, you know. And the cheerleaders had a bake sale. And I'll never forget her giving me this cookie. I went to go out the doors and she said, "Hey, I made you a cookie." So I could look at this cookie. And it kind of looks like it was like a birthday cake kind of cookie, you know what I'm talking about? Like, and it had 4 chocolate chip like bricks on top of it. Okay, like they were like,
should have been a big red flag.
Oh yeah, I should have snuffed that out. So not only does she hand it to me, but she stands there and she's like, "You want to eat it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I will." She's like, "Well, I made it," you know, whatever. I'm like, "Yeah." So
you thought she was just trying to get you like.
I thought she was being nice. Yeah.
Red flag number 2.
Well, it wasn't nothing like what they brought to the bake sale. That should have been a dead giveaway, you know. So I ended up eating this cookie all day long. She kept coming up to me. Different people kept coming up to me. "How you feel?" I'm like, "I feel fine. You know, I feel fine. Why?" "Oh, no, nothing. Just wondering." So I'm thinking, man, a lot of people's like worried about my health or something, you know. But I was really confused about it. So I ended up going to a buddy's house, and me and him rode down to the river, and we just started fishing at Duck River. And I'll never forget the rumble in my stomach, buddy. No lie. It was incredible, like thunder, you know.
Like, what was that?
Yeah, and I'm like, man, I was like, this is a bad deal, you know. I said, my stomach's really hurt. He said, "Well, get the toilet paper out behind the seat." I said, no, like, we got to go back to the house.
Game over.
So we get back to the house, and I can't remember Seth. Somebody called and told Seth, I'm in his bathroom, using his bathroom at this point, like Dumb and Dumber. You ever seen the scene on Dumb and Dumber? Yeah. And he comes to the door and he knocks. He says, "Hey, did Cassie give you a cookie today?"
So he knew it too.
Well, they just called. Somebody had called. It might have been Mason's. Somebody called and told. And I said, "Okay, yeah." But those chocolate chips, they tasted weird. I mean, it was a terrible cookie, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's my friend. I can muscle it down, you know, I'll eat it. And man, it was like, I ended up calling Randy, which is your grandpa. And I said, "Listen," I said, "Cassie gave me a cookie today that had 4 extra strength laxatives in it. Can you look on the back of that box and see how many you're supposed to take?" I said, "I really think, like, I'm in bad shape, man." Well, I couldn't do it to Randy. I couldn't do it to him. So I let him in on it. I said, "Look, when Cassie and them get home, tell her, like, we've got to know what the name of this laxative was," all this kind of stuff. It's like, I'm going to put myself to death. You know what I mean? Like, but you're only supposed to take 2 of them things within like 24 hours. They gave me 4. No,
Colon blood.
I didn't even have like a normal stool for like, I don't know, like 8 months.
No, with me, I
Did you lose any weight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was looking good.
No, me, every bite, I'm trying to get one of the chocolate chips.
Oh, man. No, not those chocolate chips. Those things were, why would they even make them like that? You know? But it was like a birthday cake looking cookie, and it had 4 of those blocks on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, she talks about how she got in trouble for that.
From her daddy?
Yeah. Yeah, that was not good.
Well, I always thought, like, he thought it was funny too, you know, because I was like, "Listen, let's tell her, like, I'm in bad shape," you know, or whatever. And but then to come to find out, Grandma was in on it too. Donna was in on it too.
So we got still friends after that?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was fishing around a pond when, you know, back then we just fished all the time. And there was actually a dead brim laying there. And I picked this thing up and I put it on the back of my truck. And I said, "What are you going to do with that?" I said, "This is going in Cassie Seller's locker." That's what I said. I said, "I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and I'm going to crack the top of it." But I never did. I couldn't do it.
You should have.
I should have.
That would have been funny.
So my wife's actually downstairs right now making Cassie some cookies to take home. Their birthday cake was chocolate chips.
Nice.
Make sure y'all don't eat
We don't need them.
No, y'all don't eat that.
Steer clear.
So let's talk about your boat. Let's talk about the boat you got. Because Russell Marine was one of your first sponsors. Who's been your longest sponsors? Them and Hyperlight?
I'd say Hyperlight, but it's not actually like the actual Hyperlight. Like, so it's, I don't know how to describe this, but they have like a Hyperlight, and then it's like a lower Hyperlight. So they give you stuff, but you don't get to go on like the product sheets and stuff. Then once you like start progressing and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, this kid's getting really good," then they hand you off the actual Hyperlight, and you start getting gear and stuff, and going on long trips to product sheets and meeting the pros and stuff. So that was pretty cool, and I'd say they're one of my.
So are you on that now? Where you're on the main Hyperlight thing?
I'm with the main Hyperlight.
I was supposed to say if you're not, there's something wrong there. Yeah.
So when Kane was 5, Daniel Uline is one of the managers at Russell Marine. There's 6 locations. You've got the ones down on Lake Martin, and then which is where the main hub is, and then you've got one here on Smith Lake in Dodge City. And so Daniel was a big wakeboarder. It's actually the perfect storm for us. It all worked out because him and my buddy Matt Sims used to ride together. And then, life happens. You start growing out of that kind of stuff. Well, Kane starts progressing as a little kid, and Daniel really, man, he loved what we were doing. And so he called us one day and was like, "Hey, swing by the shop real quick. I want to give you guys something." So we go by and they give him a wakeboard.
Oh, wow.
And so that was his first kind of sponsored flow
At the
deal.
time I was riding some like little board that like it was some board that we already had, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, something to ride.
Yeah.
That might be what made you like really good though, and I know a lot of people like
it was like
started out like that.
3-pin board. It was like I don't know, like 120 maybe.
I don't remember.
Do you swap boards a lot, or do you mainly stick with like?
I mainly stick with the same board.
Do you?
But this year they came out with a 127. 127 stands for millimeters.
Oh, okay.
So
Centimeters. Yep.
Centimeters. Yeah.
Centimeters.
So it was. They have a 120. That was the 120.
Okay, so that's a 120
yeah.
like you gave me.
So 7 inches long. So it's not that much.
Now so as you get older, you gotta swap them, but
yeah.
Get a little bigger board.
But you kind of keep the same style and stuff. I guess whatever you're comfortable with.
So
how many boards do you like try to like?
A lot. I mean, there's a lot of different shapes, and every shape rides different. So you find what's works for your style and the way you ride. Some of them they're looser than others. Some of them, have more pop. There's different rockers, which means like if you imagine a banana, that's called a continuous rocker, and then you have a 3-stage, which is flat and it kind of goes up on the ends.
Oh,
so
cool.
They all ride different, but you ride a lot of them and see what you like.
Yeah, especially the cable riders. Like they're getting into like blunt noses and stuff, and like
I know what that is.
Curved tails and stuff, where it's like the tail will go here, then in like this. It's like coming up with crazy stuff like that. So. You're
very humble. He is, Andy. He's like, these cable riders, man, they're off the chain. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you are. You're very humble. You got a good head on your shoulders, man. So what's next? I mean, so this division, since now you've turned 12, are you in a different division or?
So we're trying to win every division once, I'd say, so we've won all divisions up to this point. So we're going to do junior pro this year, just try it out. We're setting goals. So this year is to get out of my heat, then maybe next year get podium, then obviously try to get first. But we're trying to maybe get out, make podium this year, but it's a slight chance I'm going up against the best junior pros, which is a level down from pros. So they're like 15, 16 driving already. So.
You're, but I would say you're as good as anything. I mean, he is so humble, ain't he? I mean, he's like, you've been raised right, man, because he's like, man, these guys are really good.
Well, they are. These kids, man.
These are the kids I've looking up to.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you've got so there's amateur levels. The WWA is the series that everybody rides. You have grassroots tournaments, which is what I used to ride. There'd be local tournaments around
So
here.
anybody could enter or whatever.
Well, anybody can enter WWA as well, but there's divisions for any skill level. But we've always ridden what they call anything goes, which means you can throw whatever trick you want to throw. But in the beginner divisions, they limit you on the tricks you can do. And they know if you're sandbagging by riding in certain divisions, and so there's a little bit of game to it. But anyway, Kane won the 9 and under anything goes when he was 8. He won, and then he won the what was it, 10 to 13? That's when he landed the double flip.
Yeah.
That is
when he was 9, and then this past year at 10, he won junior men's, which is like 14 to 18 year olds. But
so he can go up, like you can go up.
You can
out
go
of your
up,
age
but
limit.
it's kind of, so like he's going up to junior pro this year, and like Kane said, Kane's got the tricks to do pretty good at it, but they're so consistent. They don't fall.
Really?
I mean, like, so now Kane's looking at throwing the top tricks, the hardest tricks he's ever done, but trying to do them, 8-10 tricks in a row, just don't fall.
How long do you have? I mean, is it like a time limit thing?
There's no time limit. It's like, it's kind of a time limit, but it's like the matter of tricks you can get in. So you have a pass down, then they turn around, and a pass back, and that's it.
So when the turnaround,
so there's normally, depending on how big the lake is, it's normally 4 to 5 tricks down, like down in one run, and then back. So like 8 to 10 tricks total in a run. So and then they tally up the scores, and whatever you get, and you. Like in different divisions, they have heats and stuff. So I relate it to like basketball. So you have Final Four, and then you go into the championship, Elite Eight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you just gotta keep going down like a bracket or whatever.
Okay, and so then you go to you get about 5 in the championship, like
the finals.
Relating it to basketball, yeah. And so then whoever wins that, it's not like 2 teams battling off. It's like so you got like five people going off, and so
you get your first, second, third out of that.
Gets that.
So out of they'll keep like 5. Now it's not like, I know which I've only watched this on TV, but like surfing, like let's just say he comes out and you try something and he crashes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get like many?
You only have 2 crashes. So the first fall, they come back up, get you, and then the second fall, you're done.
See, I wondered that if it was like a best of 3, like if you got like one loop and then they judged you.
It's one of the most pressure-filled sports you can do. The only thing I think that is more pressure on you is rodeo, where you put all the practice, all the travel, all the money into it, and 8 seconds later it's over. So in wakeboarding, like Kane said, they hand you the handle. They say how fast do you want to go, and then just don't fall. But you got to get in tricks. So there's a little bit of their strategy to a wakeboard tournament. So you, like Kane said, you're going to get in. If you don't fall, you're going to get in about 4 or 5 tricks in your first pass. You got a buoy on each end of the lake. Okay. When you pass the first buoy, that's when your tricks can start.
Yeah, but you also have a second buoy, which that is at the end. So the second buoy is if you fall past there, the boat's not going to have time to get up and set and wait for you to jump. So you're in by there.
Yeah, it's kind of a 3/4 buoy.
So when you get around that one, then you kind of want to be doing more of your easier stuff.
Well, there's a strategy to it.
So last year, you want to throw your hardest trick, I'd say, at the end of your passes.
Really?
So, but like tag roll is an easy trick for me. So last year, well, not last year, but the year before that, when I was 9, I did cab roll, which is an easy trick. Then came back with a double. So it's like
a double cab,
double back roll.
So you're going for nothing.
So kind of continuing on with that, the strategy to it is you don't want to fall in a place that's going to hurt you. So again, you throw your hardest tricks towards the end, but they reward you for throwing something difficult first trick. So let's say you and I went out there and we had the exact same tricks. If I placed them strategically in a different place than you did, I could beat you, even though we did exactly.
Right. Okay.
So,
but you can also have like style points. Like if I hold a grab out longer than he
if you
did,
hold your board or something like that.
If I hold it longer than he did, or if I get bigger air than he did, it's all about strategy.
I want to go with y'all. I want to go watch.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do. I want to see it like
out.
live. I really do.
Yeah. You just need to go out on the boat with us one day.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I want to go. I just want to go ride, watch.
Yeah.
And I'm going to. I got to see some of these. I got to see some of this stuff. I mean, it's the stuff y'all do, man, is amazing, ain't it? I mean, it really is. It's crazy.
Yeah, you watch it on TV, or it's just like any other sport. You see it on TV or YouTube or whatever. It does not do it justice.
I guarantee you it don't.
Some of the stuff these guys are doing is just mind blowing.
Oh,
I have to slow it down to be like, what did they just do? You know?
I know, it's like, I don't know how you don't get dizzy. You know what I mean? It's like all this spinning, flipping, all this. Man, I wouldn't be able to walk a straight line. You know what I mean? Like more or less, I ain't going to a board. So what do you? What speed do you like? Like?
Well, I don't even know what speed I ride.
21 and a half.
21 and a half, and I ride it 67 and a half.
What does that mean?
67 feet long rope.
Oh, okay, 67.5 feet. So you. That's interesting
pros,
too. I've never thought about that on the rope.
Most pros ride it about 75 feet out.
Is it harder the further you are, or is it?
You're going faster. Crashes are gonna hurt more, but but the benefit is you're getting bigger air. The wake's gonna be bigger, but it's gonna be way harder to get across the wake.
So the boat wake's kind of like a V. Right. So the farther your rope length is, the farther it is from one wake to the other.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You can make the longer jump from one side of the wake.
Yeah, the farther out you are, the more hang time and air you're going to get to do harder tricks the farther you are out.
Right.
But there's a sweet spot in the wake. You don't want to get too far back because it'll roll over on you. And there's a lot to it.
There was I just had something too. It's going to be. Do you ever because I know I watch a lot of your videos. Like whenever you come way out and you pull yourself in and you do like your flip, there's a lot of slack in your line sometimes, right? What do? You just hold up and go back. Does that make sense?
So you're not.
You know what I mean? It's almost like you've caught it with a boat a little bit or something. I know what you're saying.
So on certain tricks, you want more slack than on different tricks.
Okay.
Like on a double, you don't want slack at all. You want the rope to be tight.
Tight line.
But on like a KGB, which is a back roll with a 360, you want some slack because you're doing a spin. So I would pull in a little harder at the beginning of the wake. So when I come up the wake, I'll go here and pull to my hip, and that's creating slack. It's like if I'm pulling a rope and it's attached to like a door, and I'll pull it, and the door's gonna open, and I'm gonna have slack in the rope.
Right. Yeah. So you gotta know.
There's a lot to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
do you think your stuff up? I mean, like the tricks and stuff.
They've all been done.
No, I mean in other words, it's like, okay, man, I think on the first run you need to do this.
Sure.
When you make the you already kind of have it planned out.
So I'll tell you a funny story about that. Yes and no. Used to, I would make Kane, especially when we were riding on Lake George. It was very convenient. It was right by the house. We'd ride every day, just about. And so, if we were riding in a tournament, we would go out there and he would do his contest run like 2 times, and then we would go ride and just let him free ride, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When he won Worlds the second time, it was not a good year. It was a good year. He was progressing a lot. He landed a ton of new tricks. But there was this point in the year where I could see him getting a little burnout, and I could see him not having fun. And the reason why is we're going to Smith Lake. For us, that's like a 15, 20-minute drive to get the boat, put it in. There's a lot of time involved. You're struggling with conditions sometimes. He's not feeling it. Maybe he's tired or sleepy or whatever, but we're trying to get practice in. And so we would put all that time and commitment into it and go down there and ride. And then if he didn't make it through his tournament pass, it was the end of the world. He's, aggravated, and it was such a bummer. And I was like, all right, we're going to stop. From here on, just go ride. Just go have fun, have a good time, and try to get all of your tournament tricks in at some point. I don't care.
We're bringing the fun back. Yeah.
What's crazy is all of his competitors, man, some of these kids are riding twice a day. And we're riding like 3 and 4 times a week.
Yeah, but most of them they live on the lake.
Yeah, they live on the lake.
Yeah.
So it's not as they look outside and hey, the water's smooth, let's go ride.
Yeah, you just
and for us, it's like we got time, let's go.
Yeah. Do y'all trailer your boat every time?
So Russell provides us with a boat every year,
right?
And they also provide us with a storage unit right by Smith Lake Park. So we just drive right down there, and it's like. Quarter of a mile, put it in. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that year that he landed the double flip,
we've got to talk about.
Yeah,
that.
we'll get it.
Double flip.
I mean, I'll just get into the story.
Let's do it because this double flip, I've been like holding out the whole time. But it's like,
yeah, I think the youngest person to land a double at the. Oh, I know it was. It was an Australian, Elliot Digney. He also rode for Hyperlight at the time.
On cable, the ramps are way bigger, so the youngest on that is 9.
There's 2 9-year-olds. Okay. A friend of ours, Cameron Flankensheld, out of North Carolina, landed double on cable. And then this kid out of Australia just landed one at 9 years old. But boat is a whole different game. Like you heard Corey Tunison on the podcast.
I listened to different. I watched you crash a bunch, learning that,
But anyway, going into that whole weekend, Kane had landed the double flip. You saw that video on his Instagram. Yes. We're all going crazy. Could not believe it. And then he actually dialed it in where he was getting pretty consistent at it. And so we get to that point where I can see him kind of getting burnt out. And so we're just riding to have fun. We're leading up to Worlds. It's like 2 days before the tournament. And we go out. All of his tricks are dialed except for the double.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it was at the time. But we go out 2 days before we leave to go to Georgia. And
this is my last set.
Yeah.
So this is some of the video that's on the...
No, this is not on video.
Oh,
this is just me and him out practicing.
Okay.
So it's, he's really feeling confident in his riding at this time. So we don't even have a run. Most kids are practicing and riders are practicing.
We are having fun though.
We're just having fun. Yeah. We had not practiced we didn't even know what we're going to do. We didn't plan it out. So we're out there riding and he goes through all of his contest tricks at some point in a set.
No. We did have a run, but I didn't know the run at all. So I was looking at you.
We were doing the tricks.
So I had to memorize it on the car right up.
But anyways,
awesome,
we're doing the double. He's like, gives me the nod. I'm about to do it. And
this is when you're on the platform, right? Or is this? Oh, in the boat. Y'all are practicing last night.
We got little hand communications and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, he throws it. This is like 2 days before. It's overcast. We're just practicing, and he eats it. I mean, train wreck. And so I can see that that hurt.
I think I got ejected. My foot came out on that one.
Yeah, so it was bad.
So you really
and I'm crashed. Oh no! I get back around to him. He gets his board back on. I'm thinking he's not going to do it again. So he throws it again, and he kind of gets it around, but it was another crash. And now he's getting really mad.
I bounced off the wake, and I was like, "Oh, I did it!" And then I was like, "Boom."
Oh, man.
So he's like, I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, Kane, he tries it again and it's even worse. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. So we get him in the boat. I get him in the boat, day over, ball game. I get him in the boat. And this is 2 days before Worlds. And I get him in the boat. I'm like, Kane, if you want to throw this trick at Worlds, do it. If you don't, you don't have to. But if you throw it, you're going to land it. You will land it. I promise you. Yeah. Now, what's going through my head is no chance, because when he rides, we'll really sack the boat out and make it super heavy. Yeah. But at Worlds in those divisions, they don't put as much ballast in it. So the wake's actually smaller. So anyway, we get out there and he practices in his head on paper and everything on the way over there. These are the tricks we're going to do in semis to try, and then go on to finals.
Right.
And so
in semis we weren't gonna throw the double. We were gonna throw a 7.
Yeah. So
what's the same?
720. Spin around twice.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, he goes out there and does a semis run and lands everything perfect. So we move on to finals, and we thought, if you watch the Sean Murray video on his YouTube channel, he makes it look like Kane rode last. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He actually didn't, and Sean talked to me about this. He was like, "Hey, just for the YouTube edit to make it look, more intense, I'm like he did it at the end."
Can I tell this part because we were on the podium at this time?
Let me get into that in a second. Okay. So, anyway.
Talk about when we were in the hotel room.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting into. Okay. So, perfect. So we get in. We make finals. They seed you, and then that gives you the riding order. Well, the riding order comes out. There's a kid named Hudson Gentry. We're friends with him.
That. Yeah,
Kid's awesome. He's an incredible rider.
They were the last two, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And we're good friends with them. They actually spent 4 or 5 days with us the week before, and so I probably shouldn't say this, but he played his cards a little bit. I knew the tricks he was going to throw because I could tell he was practicing what he was going to do while we were shooting these videos because he kept doing the same run over and over. I was like, all right, I got him. I know what he's going to throw. So anyway, we get out there and Kane makes finals, and then the riding order comes out. And Kane, they didn't put, even though he scored the highest, he had to ride before Hudson. Second to last, and Hudson would ride after him.
So Hudson was last.
We were out at dinner that night, and I remember thinking I was in my own head people had to get my attention hey Kane, your order's ready, and I was like, oh, okay, because I was trying to remember my run, and then but also being am I going to be last or am I going to be first or second to last, just thinking about that.
So the riding order comes out, and I thought he scored the highest, he'll be last. Because there's a little strategy to that too. You want to, if you're riding first, you got to go all out.
Oh yeah,
you got to put the pressure on them.
That's right.
Because then they don't have to do as hard of tricks if you didn't do well.
If you just go out there and just do some easy stuff, no.
So it comes out Kane's riding before Hudson, and it's the other riders are incredible, but the bag of tricks him and Hudson have, it was between them two, and I'm like, golly, what are we going to do now? And so both of them had got 5 tricks down, 5 tricks back in their semis run. And so we're sitting in the hotel room at 9:00 at night. They're riding the next morning. And I'm like, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? Where everybody else has their runs dialed. They've been practicing it. And I'm like, I have no clue what to do. And so I look at him. I'm like, Kane, are you going to throw the double? And he's like, yes. And I think a little bit of that was pressure from people saying, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? There's so much buzz because he had dialed it in on social media. And all those people had
watched it on video.
Oh, yeah. And so he's like, yes, I'm going to throw it.
But I couldn't sleep that night. I knew I told him a lie. I was like, yeah, I'm going to throw the double, obviously. Why not? So I woke up that morning and I said, no, I'm not going to throw the double. I'm not going to throw it. And then right when we were walking out the door, he looked at me and I said, I'm going to throw it.
So we're sitting there. I'm like, okay, now how are we going to do this? Because I know what Hudson's going to throw. I know what tricks he's got. I know he's going to do 10 tricks total. So you've got to do an incredible first pass. Because if we're going to throw the double, it's going to be the last trick of the second pass.
Very
end. So I put together his run on the first pass, and it had a lot of hard technical tricks in it.
It was the whole ride was awesome.
The second pass was actually very easy except for the first trick. I think the first trick was a toe-off 540. And so that one at the time was not his. I mean, he could do it, but it's a tough trick. So I knew if he got past that, we were going to be in good shape because the next trick, what we decided, he was like, if I'm going to do the double, I got to have a warm-up, just do a regular back roll, which is just one flip. And I was like, well, that's a throwaway. If you do that and then you throw a double, they throw that trick away.
Oh, really?
So it doesn't count as a fall, but they don't judge it because let's say you did a 360 and then you did a 540. They don't judge the 360 because you just trumped it.
You just went over. Okay, yeah. I got you.
So I knew the back roll was a throwaway trick. And then the next one was a cab roll, which he does. It's like a switch back roll with a 180. And we can talk about tricks later if you want to.
Yeah, that's cool.
But we're only going to do 4 tricks. So that would give him plenty of time to take a deep breath.
I knew he pulled out.
Edge out. Yes. Everything was slow. Everything was perfect. And he stomped it. It was perfect.
He did. Yeah. I mean, it was so cool, too. Like watching you out there, it was like, I wasn't there. I'm watching this on video. You can get this on YouTube. It's awesome. But it was almost like everybody was kind of like, he's supposed to do it. Yeah. He's supposed to do it. And then landed it.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that was...
It was pretty incredible.
So I remember being on the dock and, there's a bunch of people around me. I was, trying to focus in. And normally, if you know me, I'm on the dock stretching for, an hour with my AirPods in, noise canceling, getting people out of my head. But I was down on the dock because the dock was in a different place. So I didn't want to drop them in the water. So I was out there, and I know I'm behind Hudson, so Hudson's sitting behind me, and everybody's hyping me up, and you can see the smirk on Hudson's face probably. I can just imagine in my head, he's going before me. If he falls, I've got an easy done.
Yeah, he's in a bad spot.
And so I'm in there. I go get off, and so I do all my run. I go to do the double, and I remember seeing the buoy because you got to start edging. You don't have to get your trick off. You're in the air before the buoy. Right. So I start edging in at the buoy, and I'm like, I got a good edge, but so I was like, let's just throw it. So I throwed it, landed, and come around everybody's hype, but Hudson's next. So I'm on the dock, I still got my board on. I'm shivering, oh, hopefully he falls on something. He falls. I'm like, oh, okay. And, lay back a little bit. And then his last trick, he landed a crow 5, which is a scarecrow with a 540. So it's a front roll with a 540, which is a spin and a half.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking over there
degrees.
He gets back in, everybody's cheering, and we're equally about the same in our score run. And so we start playing, but I feel like we kept eyeing each other, who's going to get first in the
Yeah, Hudson, that family, man, we've grown really close to them, and I felt horrible for him. When Kane landed that, so what Sean hides in the video, it looks like Kane rides last. But if you read the comments, people are like, man, how did his dad not go diving off in the water with him and celebrate?
You still had somebody left.
There was still an incredible rider coming up next. So, and I knew he had the tricks to win because Kane only did 4 tricks, and one of them was a throwaway on his second pass. And so I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. And so I'm still calm and cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm happy for you, Kane. That was incredible. And the crowd is going nuts.
Oh, yeah. I can just tell
people
the
are
voices.
If you go back and watch some of the footage, Kane gets up and these kids and people are all over him, and poor Hudson standing there with a handle in his hand ready to ride. I'm like, dude, I feel terrible for him right now.
I put the pressure on Hudson, but I knew he had a banger run because my dad's been telling me, hey, he's coming out with this trick. I'm like, God.
Yeah, kick and ride. He's good.
Some of my best friends was some of the people I really wanted to beat bad in a fishing tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just works out that way. And it's fun,
it
too.
It makes you better. Iron sharpens iron.
You're proud of other people.
He'll be doing one trick, and I'll be like, yeah, I can do that. And then he'll come back, which is a hard trick, and then he'll come back with another hard trick, and I'm like, oh. Back to back,
kid's good.
Okay.
Look, I can't say anything else in this podcast. I can't go any further without talking about my buddy Brian Miller.
Okay.
This guy, listen, if it wasn't for Brian Miller, I don't know that we would be where we are. This guy comes out of nowhere one year. We're at Flipside, and he comes up to us, introduces himself. He's got a son named Zach that is wakeboarding. They're same age as Kane. And man, we just become absolute best friends. And
Really?
you talk about Kane's Instagram and like the videos and stuff. That's Brian.
That video is unbelievable.
Listen, man, he has gotten so good at like his video editing and the cameras he's using. He's flying drones. He's doing all this stuff. Like, if you notice, I'll tag him in a lot of the videos. He makes Kane's Instagram what it is. Like, it's so good.
It is. I mean, that video footage. It's almost like you're there.
They've got a place down at Brushy Creek on Smith Lake, and that's where we ride on the weekends.
That's one of my favorite riding places because
I heard you say something about the hole.
It's like closed off. So there's trees going all the way down, and it's like a mile run. So you have. It's
where you get away from the tubers and the jet skiers.
Yeah, you have like a half mile, and then you cut. You go a different way. It's like if the water is not smooth on this run, just wait till the corner, and then it's like class going this
Really?
way. Yeah, and it's
a
just
really cool spot
all the way back.
So that's in Brushy
Creek.
Brushy Creek.
Yeah, it's not around the. I don't want to give this. That's our secret
no,
spot. I don't want to give that away.
That's kind of like me talking about fishing.
Yeah, you don't want to give that away.
Yeah.
But man, listen. I got to give a shout out to Brian. He has helped us so much. We go on trips with him. Like we're going to Orlando the end of this week, and we'll Kane and Zach will be ripping around and going training with his coach and some different things. Yeah.
Yeah, Zach too though, because Zach's
an incredible rider.
My brother from another mother. He's so cool.
They're from Tupelo, Mississippi, and just awesome family. Can't say enough about them.
I heard you say, what was it? If you want you got to risk it to get the biscuit. I love that, man. I've been trying to learn all this like surfer lingo. I was gonna be like cowabunga. But no, that's Ninja Turtles.
That's old stuff.
So you do the hand signal.
We don't do that so much anymore. That's like leave that to the surfer. So we'll do like this.
Okay, what does this one mean? Love?
No, I don't even know what it means. It's something we do.
Wakeboarding gang signs. Yeah. 101. Yeah.
Hey, look, you know what I do? Inner tube, baby. If I go with y'all, I'm bringing my inner tube.
Bring the tube. So we actually break the tube out from time to time, and what we'll do is we'll
only with the family.
We'll GoPro. Like I'll get on the tube and with a camera and let him jump over me and do. Like if you look at some of the Instagram shots, like we're right up there on him. Okay. But I'm on a tube with a GoPro.
Oh, okay. So you film like in front of him, yeah? Because y'all use a rack. You're using a rack for the wakeboard, so you can actually the tower. Yeah. So you. I'm pretty good at this wakeboarding stuff.
Funny story about the tube. So we had a tube. We brought it out to our grandparents' lake one time. A spot that we shot the video.
Ingram Lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ingram. Shot the video.
You swim in Ingram?
Oh man, we.
I'm just kidding. I used to take a long time ago.
So we're riding out there, and we got a jet ski, and we wakeboard behind it and stuff on that lake because it's small. But we brought an inner tube out there one time. And
almost killed Kane.
Everybody was stoked to ride. But then it got all windy, and Dad was like, "Why ain't you trying to sit here?" And he's like, "Can you get on?" I was like, "Not if Parker doesn't do it. Parker's my older brother."
Yeah, older brother.
No,
older cousin.
Older cousin, yeah. And so he said, "I ain't doing it." And my dad was like, you just hop on. So it was really windy going this way, and then it was glass, like not glass, but like the wind was going this way. So this way was fine. We started going off this way. Then we turned.
Flying, and he's laying on this tube.
Then we turned around. I'm the only one on this tube.
He weighs like 10 pounds.
At the time, I was like really light.
You can see where this is going.
So no, it wasn't bouncing. And so we cut the corner. I'm like, holy crap! I'm like hanging on for dear life, and I'm like, we're going really fast, like. Slow it down. He doesn't see me, and he just pins it. And all of a sudden, I catch wind, and I'm looking down like.
Look, Jacob. Like, my heart stopped.
Like 10 feet off.
What my little friend is trying to say is we go into the wind, and that inner tube caught wind under it, and it took him. He had to be 30 feet off the water. It was like a kite.
Gosh.
It was like a kite.
Like one of those kites.
Like, I remember looking down.
It went straight up in about half a second. My heart drops And I knew if I just cut the throttle, he's just going to fall out of the sky.
Right.
So I start to ease off. And as I'm easing off the throttle and I'm in full panic mode, the tube starts doing this, going back and forth. And then all of a sudden it goes upside down and I see him just falling and landed on his back. But I bet you he wasn't in the water 2 seconds before I'm like coming and scooping him up. Yeah. Scared both of us to death.
I remember everybody on the side though. Everybody's like trying to hold in their laugh, but like
It wasn't funny.
I just like fell out. Like,
I bet it almost gave you a heart attack.
But once I was fine, everybody started laughing.
Now, Randy and them, didn't they have a place there?
It still does.
Okay, yeah. They used to get y'all kayak and stuff down there, snow steel and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ingalls would actually be a pretty good lake to. You can't get your big boat in there.
Man, these boats are so big. There's, people say, well, why don't you ride over at Lake George? It would destroy that lake if I put a G23 in there.
We're making people mad over there with the 210, because it's going up on their
really?
Yeah, you couldn't do
it. That's tiny weight compared to the boats we're riding right
They're
now.
huge.
So the boat, we haven't really talked about the boat, have we?
Let's take a pee break and then we'll talk about
Let's
the boat.
do it. All right. Let me pause her. That thing's got 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And I never can get her out on which one, but we are back.
Yeah.
We're back on.
5 pounds lighter.
5 pounds? Yeah. You ain't kidding, man. All right. So we're about to talk about the boat. I got to know about this boat.
Yeah, for sure. We got a Nautique. We get a new boat every year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Nautique G23. We have a partnership with Russell Marine.
Okay.
They help us with all the care that we need with boats and everything. We don't have our boat in right now, so we can go pick up a boat right now, take it out on a set, bring it back. So they're really nice to us.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They're good people, aren't
Yes.
they? Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
If you don't, supporting your local people too.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to spend my money. You know what I mean? If I was fixing to get into wakeboarding or whatever, I wouldn't go to Walmart. I would go to Russell Marine because it's Kane Ward's sponsor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That stuff goes a long ways with it.
Yeah, no, NASCAR fans are really big on that. Like, if their favorite NASCAR driver, if this sticker is on their car, man, they're going to that store or wherever. Yeah. But yeah, man, I can't say enough about Daniel and the guys at Russell Marine. We physically could not do this without them. Financially, we could not do this without them. You're talking about, 6-figure boats. And look, we're middle class people here, and to be able to take the boats out that we're taking out and get the practice that we're getting in behind them, this is what's pulling the tournaments. Wouldn't happen without them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That goes a long ways. If you're just to go shopping, Russell Marine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pro Shop, they've got all the tubes, ropes, handles, boards, surfboards, everything you need in there. They're in Dodge City. Go check them out.
They're right off 299 exit, right? Don't you?
The Dodge City exit, the Jasper exit, is that 299?
I think it is.
But you just hit the exit there and go towards Jasper. They're on the right, about a mile off the interstate.
That's where I'll be shopping. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They're awesome people.
I'm going to get me a new tube, brother.
For sure. You're tubing it up.
Yeah, I'm going to be a pro tuber.
Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
I'm about to be the first one.
We'll ride by and pop it. How about that?
I'm going to be the first pro tuber.
Sponsored by Big Bertha.
That's right. I'm going to wear one of them orange life jackets. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm going to write my name on it and stuff, though.
Put a helmet on. It'd be awesome.
So y'all's boat, what kind of engines we looking at?
There's a couple of different options, but we use the 450 horsepower engine. That's actually the smaller one on the G23 series.
Really?
Yeah. It will use the lower octane fuel, which is what I like.
Yeah.
But then you get up into the bigger block engine. I think it's got it's around 550 horsepower.
Oh, wow.
But you have to use the high octane fuel with it. So usually it's just me and Kane going out, so I don't have to have a ton of weight in the boat, and the 450 does just fine for what we do.
You got your big, you got the big speakers and the
Yeah, for sure.
cameras.
Golly.
And you could actually, when you're driving, you're watching him.
No, it's got like a backup. It's kind of like a backup camera when you're just in idle. It'll show you around the boat, so you're not putting anybody in danger by running the boat, maybe swimming or something like that. But no, once you're up and going, the camera goes away.
Oh, okay. So do you bring like somebody with you most time, like a spotter or something?
No, it's got a massive mirror on it, so I can just look up and see everything he's doing.
This summer's going to be me some.
Come on.
I'm
serious. That's the crazy thing. We ask people all the time, if you want to go, if you want to wakeboard, I don't care what skill level you are. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you or your kid or anybody wants to wakeboard, shoot us a message on Instagram. You are more than welcome to go anytime. We are all about spreading the sport. And, if we can help you in any way, we do this off of other people helping us. So if we can help you in any way, get you on the water. A lot of people say, well, I'd love to do that, but I can't afford a boat like that. Come on.
Yeah, come ride.
Come ride. Every dock on Smith Lake has a wakeboard boat in it. And usually those people are looking for people to go ride with.
Oh, yeah. My brother, when he
come on.
Ski, and I'd pull him around February. He'd wear like a wetsuit. I'd be freezing to death.
Yeah, he rode last Monday.
Did you?
Yeah.
But that water's pretty chilly, ain't it?
It was chilly, but we had a wetsuit. So.
But yeah, anybody who wants to ride, you have zero excuse. Come on. You are more than welcome.
He means it. I'm telling you, he means it. Yeah. Now you would have to be pretty novice yourself, right, up on the wakeboard.
Novice means beginner.
I'm sorry.
Yes, so you nailed it. I am a beginner.
No, because I saw you like do a bunch of tricks. I saw a lot of your air shots and all that.
I could do. Listen,
I went to Holly Pond.
I could do like basic inverts and a couple spins, but like 8 years old came past me. I mean, like
really?
There was a day when he turned 8. I was like, okay, he's better than I ever was. So, but I, been through some injuries and kind of hung that up. I'll still ride a little bit, but not like I used to.
Not like you used to.
No.
I'm going to try it, man. I'm going to
Sure.
try it, yeah. Now, do you have your own wakeboard line?
I don't.
Something in the future?
I ride on the Murray Junior, so it's that board that I gave
board
you,
there, okay.
But 127, and but I do have a pro model vest.
Oh, cool.
It just came out this year.
Sweet. I need to buy one then.
For sure.
Yeah, for Walker.
Yeah. So one of Hyperlight's biggest retailers, or I don't know how you say that, customers, is Costco nationwide.
Oh, really?
So if you go into a Costco this spring, you'll see a lot of Hyperlight gear in the Costco. But that Russell Marine also sells it. Most of your marinas have it. Yeah. But you'll see it everywhere. And but yeah, his signature vest will be out this year, the Volcano.
That's cool. I was going to ask about this on the Volcano. Yeah, that clothing, right? Am I supposed to say anything or not?
No. Here, let me get you this.
Okay.
Tell them how you get the name.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have a coach named Tony Iacone, and lives up in Orlando. Is the owner of TI Wake Academy. So he trains a bunch of wakeboarders, and he trains me. So we were out there one day, and he came up with the name Kano. So he just started calling me Kano instead of Kane. So we thought, what about Volcano? Because that would be pretty cool.
Well, he started calling you Volcano.
Yeah, he started calling me Volcano.
It kind of.
So he's the one behind the name.
And so we were like, wait, that's actually pretty good. So we're gonna come up with a business, a side job, and sell clothing.
Yeah, that'll do good.
So with his income, my accountant was like, you got to start spending some money. So we were like, well, let's do some merchandise, because most people who do what we do, or in other sports, they have their own merchandise line. But it'd be something fun for him to get a little taste of what running a business is like, and kind of do that. So we worked. It's taking way longer than I thought it was going to, but we were like, well, what are we going to name it? What's it going to look like? So we came up with a logo, thanks to Shane Cook and Ryan Carol, and we worked on that forever. When you're coming up with a logo,
I guarantee.
Oh man,
Yeah.
like it's got to be perfect, and you don't want to rush it,
Right, yeah.
So it took way longer than I thought. But we came up. We were going to use the name Volcano. That's what they call him at the tournaments. His wakeboard nickname. But I didn't want it to be kid centered. I wanted like anybody to think this was cool,
Right,
So
yeah.
we literally just decided on the logo, and I was hoping to go ahead and have like first run of shirts. We're going to do apparel. We've got a lot of ideas and some cool stuff that we're going to do. But anyway, I visited a mutual friend of ours, Carly Huddleston.
Yeah.
And she at Farmco.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the closing yesterday.
So she helped me out. I just wanted to see the logo in print on an article of clothing.
Right.
The hoodie looks good.
Does it?
The hoodie's
I'm a
like,
hoodie guy. I like hoodies
that's
too,
the
man.
best thing. It's like a light blue looking color, and it's got the volcano.
Yeah. So anyway, I got you a T-shirt made. Look, I don't even have a volcano piece of
the first,
apparel.
baby.
And she said you liked pockets, so
Yes.
that's the logo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Show this.
And then there's the back of it.
Yes.
So
I saw it up, so-
That's for sure.
you
I
have
gotta
one of
get
the first.
closer. Seen it here first, folks.
Yeah.
So we do not have anything for sale just yet, but there's our logo, and we're going to launch this this spring.
So we're gonna have shirts with pockets, without pockets,
Show 'em this.
hoodies, you name it. We're gonna come out with board shorts, hopefully,
Some
and
shorts.
yeah,
We got a lot of ideas.
boys and girls.
Let me give you this.
Yep.
That's gonna be right there. That's so awesome. Appreciate it, tell you. I'm gonna try to get some merchandise done.
For sure.
At some point.
Merch.
Some merch, yeah.
Merch.
I gotta use this. I gotta get into this wakeboarding terms. Man. You're going to have to come and like teach me. Yeah. Like, I wanna-
Wakeboard school.
Yeah, wakeboard lingo is what I wrote down on here. Like, what kind of lingo you got? Then after I got to listen, it's shredding, ripping.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that much like
Steez.
when you hang around with like surfboarders and stuff, they're all about it.
Oh, I guarantee you.
But
Yeah.
we're not as much into lingo.
Well, you live in Coleman, Alabama,
Yeah,
so you
that's
keep
all.
it redneck.
Yeah.
He is cool. I mean, like the stuff he says, like the biscuit thing. I love that.
Yeah, but that was also that's a joke that we said bringing up redneck. Me living here in Alabama, when I hurt my neck, in that story, everybody he came up with a nickname Redneck. So everybody when I saw him, they would go redneck. Like we were out at dinner that one night, and my dad said, I'm with him and that redneck down there. I'm like, bring it on. Keep coming out.
Smack talk.
Yeah.
We
keep them humble around the house.
My Walker's just started playing t-ball. He's green at it. He's 4,
Mhm.
And I got to watch them. They had them like set up like different stations last night. So it's freezing. It was freezing to death. I was freezing. And he's out there, and I hear him and this other little boy smack talking this other kid. They're, you're a butthead, all this kind of stuff. And Walker's telling him he's going to do this to him or whatever. And I went over there and I said, y'all are teammates, just because I don't want to get in the coach's ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my son. I'm going to make sure he stops,
Yeah.
So I go over there and they're trying to explain to me that one kid was trying to put dirt on him or whatever, And they started attacking me. No lie. This one little girl. There's two girls. Yeah, there's two. Well, actually, the boys were what was arguing to begin with. But there was 2 little girls standing there. And I walk up and I said, Walker, y'all are teammates, son. Be nice. That one little girl goes, you stink. I swear. And I said, I stink. I said, what do I smell like? She said, elephant poop. I lost it. And I started laughing so hard. So they all started ganging up on me, even my own son. And he said, you know why you smell like that, don't you? I said, why? He said, because you gassy all the time. That's what he told me.
Getting picked on by the
So I just put my hoodie on, ducked my head, and walked on.
walk of shame out of there.
I'm like, my gosh, I was trying to like get everything
For all
going.
the parents watching, you just getting hated on by kids.
Yeah, so I'm probably referred to as like stinky around there now or something. But it was so funny because it was that little girl. She goes,
Yeah.
You stink. I said, what I smell like? You know?
I showered. I can't do anything else. What do you want me to do?
And with the practices and stuff, you basically have time to come home. Everybody tries to eat a little bit, then you try to go, and stuff. So you like, do you play baseball?
I don't play baseball. All I play is basketball and then other board hobbies.
Okay.
You play flag football. So.
Yeah, I play flag football.
Now, your little brother,
He plays tackle.
yeah, he's on, was he on Fireplugs?
Cyclone.
Fireplugs.
I wish I could play tackle football, but I can't because it goes into wakeboarding season. So I would have to choose one or another.
Yeah, you don't want to get injured and stuff either. Yeah, your little brother actually is a beast.
Cruz.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Cruz.
He's out there knocking heads off.
He is.
Cruz loves some football. That's all he cares about.
Oh yeah, that's what. We were sitting in the bleachers, me and Joseph Black actually, and he kept running the ball and stuff, and he said, "You know who that is, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I know exactly who that is." I said, "Yeah." I wondered if you played, since he played or whatever. But yeah, he's really good. Is he going wakeboard? Does he do wakeboarding much?
He doesn't really do wakeboarding. Like when we had the 210, he would go out with us, but now he's all video games and football.
He can ride.
Playing with the
Really?
neighbors.
He can ride a little bit. He don't care anything about it.
Yeah.
Does he not?
He's one of those kids that's like, let me take a short set, then I want to go swim.
Yeah, that's more like me. I'm the guy out there on the pontoon. We literally
Booze cruising.
Yeah, we do. We get in the pontoon, and I'm serious. We just get enough wind, just to kind of stay cool.
Yeah.
Where we're all talking, and yeah, we got. I guarantee you, man, we probably hadn't. Well, see, for me fishing, I was always running around. I was the guy that y'all cussed, yeah, and but like when you get in the pontoon or whatever, we just ease around and. The kids are up and down playing, and we're dancing and all that kind of stuff.
That's fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, I've only this might be surprising to y'all, but I've only been on the boat one time without doing wakeboarding.
Really?
Yeah, unless I was hurt or something.
Just to ride.
I went out with one of my friends. His name was Rylan.
Oh, okay.
And we went out and we were jumping off cliffs and stuff. It was fun, but I felt this voice inside of me like, "You're not wakeboarding? What? you're out in the water and you're not wakeboarding? Like,
That's all.
where's this coming from?"
All you've ever done on the water.
Do you do stunts and stuff? Like, do you jump off? Have you been off Big Bridge?
Yes.
You have.
Well, not
You haven't been off
Big
Big
Bridge.
Bridge.
Oh, it's
There's
Indian Head.
Yeah.
yes,
Indian
I
Head.
jumped off that one.
Yeah, Indian Head. When the water's down now, that thing's.
It's
And you don't want to have to try to climb back down. Obviously, you want to.
No.
You're kind of committed when you get up there,
That one ain't that high compared to the ones that we normally jump off.
Really?
When Cassie and I first met, we've been dating for a little while. I don't know if we were married yet or not, but anyway, we were out with a group of friends on my boat, and we went to Indian Head, which is a cliff people jump off of on Smith Lake. So we pull up to it, and we all jump out of the boat and go up to the top, and we all jump off, and Cassie's the last one. And so we're all sitting in the boat, and she's standing up there by herself, and she kind of freaks out. And I was like, "Oh no, she's not going to jump." So we're sitting there, and I'm like, "What do we do?" And then a water patrol pulls up right beside my boat, and they look over at me, and they look up at Cassie. And I'm thinking, oh man, we're in trouble. I don't know if they're going to get us for trespassing or what. And the cop gets on the intercom and he starts going, "Bark, bark, 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 bark." And we lose it in the boat. And Cassie's sitting up there with this frown on her face like, oh man, I'm getting heckled.
Did she finally come down?
I can't remember if she jumped or not, but it was high. Like the water level was really low.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was high.
I did actually a flip off of Indian Head one time and overdone it.
Overcooked it a little bit.
Yeah, man. And I'm telling you, I really thought it broke ribs and stuff, honestly. I had a life jacket on too, you know.
Yeah.
Because my brother lived right there at Catalina Point.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just right there. Well, Adam, every year, we would go over there and he'd do a flip because he said, I feel like if I ever skip a year, then I'll be scared to do it next year, you know. So he would always like go up there and do it. And I had too many to drink that day. And I got up there. There's a bunch of kids on top of there. That Skipper Estes and them was down on the bottom. There was several boats we knew. And they were all up there. I dare you to go. I dare you to go, you know, whatever. And I just basically said, all right, y'all, watch out. You know,
let me show you how to do it.
I did that flip. And I mean, like, I hit hard. The kids and stuff on top, they knew, like, I hit hard. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even breathe. Like, I could do just up the thumb up.
I'm okay.
And as I do the thumb up, I do the wave. Like, somebody come get me. Yes, it hurt. I hit the side of my face, too, you know. Water, man, sometimes
that's what happens with wakeboarding. You know, so in the wakeboard world, we say you've got your 1%ers and your 99 percenters.
Yeah.
99 percenters are people that go out on the weekends, weekend warriors. Hey, let me strap this board on and ride around a little bit. And then you've got people like Kane who treat it as a sport and they go and practice and compete and try to progress their riding and things like that. But there's been a lot of kids that we've seen through the years that have been like, well, I can do this. You know, I'm pretty good. And they get out there and they start riding and then they start progressing into flips and spins and they catch an edge. And it goes from, 20 miles an hour to 0 real fast. And it's like, okay, I'm not cut out for this.
If you're on a wakeboard, you got to battle through the crashes first.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next time before you're in a competition, I want you to say my old favorite quote. Whenever I used to say, we used to take off in the bastard, you know, we all drive like a bunch of idiots, you know. I used to say, I'm about to let the rat out and eat the cheese.
I've never heard that one.
Did I say it right? It's been so long since I've said it. About the God,
you don't eat the rat, do you?
Skin it back and let the rat eat the cheese. That's what it was. It's been like 4 years since I've actually been like in a boat, like, you know, fishing or, you know,
man, you guys
pontoon stuff we do.
Y'all go so fast in those things, man. It's crazy.
You can run.
They don't like hitting our wake going that fast.
Oh, I guarantee you, I've had some surprises too that you didn't see. You probably know Craig Daniel, don't you?
That name's familiar.
He works at Coke. He's probably one of the big, besides like Jordan Lee and them, he's probably one of the biggest fishermen around.
Yeah.
Me and him come around the bridge there one day, and I didn't even know. I wasn't even running very fast. It was already rough enough. And when I turned, he said, wave. And there was about 4 inches of water in the bottom of the boat. I mean, that's how bad we cut it off. It was in spring, too. It was cold. Man.
This might surprise you, too. Going back to the cliff jumping and stuff. I've never jumped off a cliff or like a bridge without doing a flip.
Really?
Somewhere high without doing a flip.
I think he gets that from his granddad.
Like, I'm honestly more scared to jump off a cliff or a bridge without doing a flip than I am doing a flip.
It is a backflip.
I do a backflip or a side flip, and then once I get brave and I'm like, okay, this not that bad, then I'll do like a double off or something.
We were in Mexico and we went out in the middle of
the
middle of the jungle. They call it cenotes, which is
this was Worlds too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get into we're out in the middle. You were way off the beaten path. And then they put you in this, it's like a hayride kind of setup where they put you on this trailer and they take you out even farther. And then they'll, cenote is translated into sinkhole. So you're out in the middle of the nowhere and it's basically a sinkhole in the jungle. And it's just the clearest, prettiest water you've ever seen. And they'll have the jankiest towers set up beside it for you to jump off of.
Yeah, it's just like
sketchy. Oh my goodness, it's so scary.
But it's so cool though. So they have like we did like two or three, but I only remember two. So the first one is like this little wood across this like hole, and it's like you're looking down. There's water.
Just a cave. You don't see what's down there.
So
and you're like
you jump into the earth,
measuring it. like seeing like.
So it's basically
how
just like
high
you
it
just
is.
got an opening up there. And
Yeah.
It's about a 6 foot radius hole with a plank over it,
Yeah.
and you're just jumping into nothing.
And so you jump in.
I'm claustrophobic. I'm not going.
You jump in, and then once you come up, you end up in this cave, and there's like lights hanging up all around
It's
you.
really big
so
on the
cool.
inside.
How do you get by? Do you
There's
just
stairs.
There was
there's
staircase
stairs
coming
down
out.
there?
And
Wow.
then I remember the second one we did. It was there was like levels. It was like 5 feet, and then it went up to like I think it was 40, right?
Man, it was high.
Yeah.
I didn't go up there.
It was high.
But did you? Was this before the Worlds? Was you?
It was
more
after you read.
after. I was
So-
going to
so
say
what-
like keeping him from like getting
Yeah.
hurt.
So
Yeah.
we were messing around, jumping off the smaller ones and like the mid ones, and then everybody said, "Come on, let's go to the high one." And I was like, "Y'all go first, cause I got something to store." And so they jump off, and I remember my dad and mom looking at me, and I'm like, and they're like, look at me like, "You can do it?" or
I
not?"
didn't think there's no chance he's jumping off this. It was so high.
I was 9, I think.
And you
And,
jump?
and so I look
You were
over,
8 because that was
Yeah.
when we were in
and so
Mexico.
I look over the edge, and I turn around, do a back football.
I thought, if he over rotates this, it's gonna knock him out, and we're long way from a hospital.
Backbuster, yeah.
Yeah,
Golly.
but he did it like 3 more times.
Yeah. That's
You're
right.
like fearless, you know.
You can say that, but I got some parents
He's
on.
one with the water.
He's,
you know what I mean? Like,
he's not scared of things he should be, and he's scared of things he shouldn't be.
should not be.
Yeah.
My kid's been begging me to let him watch Scream. You think I would let him watch Scream?
I haven't anymore.
If you want to be up all night, go for it.
Oh no, they ain't gonna sleep in their own room. They sleep with. We already determined that.
Yeah.
We already know. So, real quick, just y'all been naming off all these like different moves and stuff, jumps and all this kind of stuff. Like, how many tricks do you think you probably know?
There's thousands.
There's not thousands.
No,
Come on.
of tricks.
Watch.
There's tons of
Wakeboard tricks.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
in like that I know, or like that there is.
Like, how many tricks do you think you like know wakeboarding?
I don't know. If I actually try to name all of them off that I do, I'd say close to 100.
Really?
Close to, you say?
I mean, when you
'Cause
got your
because-
like little
because-
bitty-
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, even small ones.
Yeah,
It's-
'cause-
Yeah.
Small ones count
there's
too.
like wake to wake, 180, switch 180, switch toe 180.
Yeah. See, I call them like double backflip. I do like
Yeah.
that's that screwdriver. You know, that's where y'all spin. You know, I'm like, you used to do a screwdriver with a
the
flip.
the names of wakeboarding tricks are so ridiculous because
Yeah.
if you do the trick first, you get to name it.
I heard that
Whirly
today.
bird,
And
Actually.
so-
dum-dum, Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, they're ridiculous because it's usually like some 16, 17-year-old kid that did it first back in the 90s that was probably on some substance he shouldn't have been on, and he names it something ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, but it's a different world back from then. These guys, these pros now, man, they're super over the top with what they eat, their exercise regimen. Like they're athletes. I mean, it's crazy
Like
the
now,
stuff they do.
Now it's hard to get a trick, like a brand new trick, because pretty much any trick you do, somebody's probably already done it.
thought of it.
And they already have a name for it. So say it's an elephant. An elephant is a scarecrow, which is the front roll with a 180. Then you switch it back to the 180, back to the
Oh, wow.
opposite side 180. But if you do it like, say I go 360, it's elephant 360. It's just adding on spins or grab. It's probably already named. So
That's crazy.
Everything
I
from
mean,
here
like,
on is just adding another 180 or another flip.
just kind of
Yeah.
tweaking it a little bit or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
like in anything that you're thinking of, like it's probably already going to be like they're like Thomas Herman. He lives in Orlando right now. And he's trying triples, which is crazy. Like he's gonna be
Triple flip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
like,
getting really
I
close.
got-
Really?
like,
To a
yeah.
triple flip.
Like if I have my bet on it, he's gonna land it first, like for sure, like this year.
Yeah.
So the wakeboard though, I mean, that has to like break the wind. I mean, like if you're flipping this, I mean, with that board, you got to really have momentum because I mean, it's going to be.
Yeah.
You're pushing against that too. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Wow. 3 flips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's landing
But-
on his board,
but
but,
like
he
I
hadn't
said,
ridden away from it
you-
yet.
You already know what it's gonna be like. It's a triple flip. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, but like you already know what it's gonna be like. It's not like screwdriver or something like you said. Like it's like you said like a screwdriver. You said was like you would relate to like a 360. Like they already have a 360.
Yeah, so you can't.
Double, they already have a triple.
So you can just basically just tweak everything that's out there. Now, like a double backflip, is that possible?
Yeah, there's several doubles that guys are doing.
Really? On the backflip too?
Yep.
See, I think front flip's harder. Do you?
Yeah, probably on a.
Yeah, like trampoline wise. Like
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can't. I remember the front flip, man. I couldn't hardly even.
If I was to do a double on the trampoline, I would do a double front because you can back out of it and land on your back because you're already going. But double back, you gotta fully commit.
So world champion 3 times wakeboarding. That's unreal. I mean, his age too. Yeah. I mean, there's probably not anybody. Jordan Lee has 2 Bassmaster Classics, which is considered world. I mean, like this guy right here is probably.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. I mean, you got a 12-year-old that's won the world 3 times. I mean, spin the globe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's everybody. It's awesome.
We had a kid from Italy come over to ride against Kane this year. And truth be told, he's Nano's probably 14, 15 years old. I think he's 14, maybe. I don't know. He's older. But when he showed up and jumped in Kane's division, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be bad. But he's truth be told, he's better than Kane. Like, he's got just a huge bag of tricks, but he just didn't have a good day that day. I mean, like, Kane, he just did everything perfect.
About your day.
So you can go out there and everything be off.
Oh, like man, yeah.
Crashing like
you'll
crazy.
You'll have off days every day. Like
yeah. But going back to the boats, I want to touch on this just a little bit. Especially, well, it's everywhere. Education is part of it, but the big deal right now is people who live on lakes are talking about, they kind of demonize wakeboard boats. Mm-hmm. The waves are too big. They're destroying the shoreline. They're destroying our docks. There's a lot going on with that, and a lot of meetings that are happening. People take it over the top, and they try to work through legislation to get wakeboard boats banned.
That's silly.
And there's a lot going on, not just around in this area. It is happening in Alabama. I actually worked with Garland Gudger on a law or legislation to put some rules and regulations on wakeboard boats, and then it all got shut down in the House. So now we got to start all over with it. It's a big long story, but Garland actually told me. He said anytime this comes up, I think about Kane. He lives here in Coleman, and he's like, I don't want to do anything that would hurt his future because of what he's got going in the sport. But there's so much uneducation that's going on. Is that a word?
I use it.
People just they need to sit down and see both sides of things. And then there's bad wakeboat drivers that go too close to the shoreline. They go too close to docks. They're riding around with full ballast when they don't need it in bad places. And so there needs to be education on both fronts. But I will say this, when it comes to Smith Lake, where we are, I don't feel like, other than maybe your docks, if people are riding too close to your docks, I don't feel like people have an argument when they bring up shoreline erosion. And that's usually the first thing they mention. Wakeboard boats are killing our shorelines. I would argue that all day long.
Well, it's a lot. It's real rocky and everything.
Number one, you're dealing with sand rock. Man, there's places that when I was a teenager look exactly the same. Maybe a little bit of shoreline erosion.
I don't remember that like changing much.
Yeah, but the other thing, and this is why, Mother Nature, there's actually studies that are out that show that Mother Nature, between the peak summer months, you have all this boat traffic on Smith Lake. But now you're dealing with like another 7-8 months of the year where there are no boats on the water. During the wintertime, it's very few, right?
Right, yeah.
Compared to the peak months of the year. Well, Mother Nature, with this rain we get, the fluctuation in the lake, I mean, it's eroding shoreline way more than the peak season of boating season, with all boats being out there. But one of the arguments that I'll make against Smith Lake when people bring up shoreline erosion is that lake fluctuates 20, feet year round. Okay. So if you want to say my wake is causing an issue with the shoreline, I can prove you wrong, because my wake never hits the shoreline in the same spot throughout the summer. A lot of times the lake is lower than people's retaining walls. You see bare ground going up. Yeah. So how can you say that we're eroding shoreline? Well, we're not even getting up to your yard, throughout the summer, because the lake is dropping 20 feet throughout the summer. It's not, if you want to make a case like on Gunnersville where they keep the lake the same water level, because it is hitting the same spot every single time you make a pass. But again, it goes back to education. We try not to make a pass twice in the same area. Like, we'll go down a slough and go out, and we don't go back into it. We keep going to different spots, and that minimizes our wake hitting anything. So if people would just do that and stay away from docks, stay off the shoreline, no problem.
It's always going to be like an argument on it's this, it's ruining, it's that. You can't tell me back Spiegel's used to have this tournament. It's like an all-night fishing tournament. There'd be like 400 boats in this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think your wake boat would stir up more than 400 boats coming out of a slough in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By the time you add all that together, plus you got 500 of them, or whatever. Even those tournaments I fished, there was 200 boats most of the time.
Right.
When you're coming out of there, you got 200 boats. And I mean, almost everything's going to get hit. And I ain't going to lie to you, like at Gunnersville and stuff, I never even really cared.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just the way it was, because all I was worried about was getting to that spot, throw that cast, and beat somebody or whatever, Right. But I would think if it was like land erosion problems, that it would be a problem of everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not just one.
Yeah. I don't know, man, but people, it's crazy too. Like, we've been wakeboarding on Smith Lake since I was very young. And it's just like these people who just found Smith Lake, and they come and build a house on it or buy a house on it. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm here. Y'all got to stop all this. It's like, man, your real estate agent really lied to you and told you that this is a calm and peaceful lake during the summer, because it ain't.
No, it's not. No.
It's wild out there.
People used to complain about the railroad train horns.
My dad worked for the railroad, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we would hear it all the time. You'd be working around like a little neighborhood or something. They'd come up, that horn was blowing at 1 o'clock this morning. That guy laid down. It's like, these railroad tracks have been here way before you were here.
Yeah.
It's all, you got your Karens and, you know what I'm saying? It's like, which I know most of my buddies and stuff, like fishermen, homeowners, I wouldn't know very many of at Smith, but like the bass fishermen stuff, I think like you and them could actually like get together and come up with something.
Look,
because, fishermen, they want what's best too.
Bass fishing tournaments have absolutely crushed some of our afternoons. But the last thing that I would want to see is bass fishing shut down on Smith Lake.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to see tubing or jet skiing shut down on Smith Lake. It's a lake that everybody can enjoy, right. and that's nationwide, man. It's water, it's lakes. Go have fun. It's that's recreation. Can you imagine if legislation was passed that said no more wakeboard boats on Smith Lake? Can you imagine what that would do to the economy?
Oh yeah.
You think about your marinas. You think about your grocery stores in the area. People who have jobs in that area. I mean, it would. The effect of that would be astronomical.
Yeah, it would.
Think about the homes. Your home values will plummet because you can't use it for what you want to use it for. There's wakeboard boats in every dock out there.
Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think that, I don't really think you'll ever see that, though, where they would like ban it.
Be careful.
It really?
I mean, it has been banned on some lakes across the country, but they're smaller lakes.
Right.
You get the right person in there that knows how to get things done. I don't want to say never,
Right.
But man, it would be devastating to the community when you think about, man, just think about how much fuel is burned on Smith Lake.
Yeah, I mean,
you're shutting gas stations down at that point all around the lake.
Not y'all, but I mean alcohol sales and bait and tackle, and I mean the list goes on and on. Fast food restaurants, There's been very few times when I went fishing where I didn't get breakfast or lunch or most of the time, even though it would be at Guntersville, a lot of times I'd stay. I stay the night there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I rented a hotel, and Smith's actually, since it's so clean and everything, I feel like it's really took like a lot more people.
Oh, that's a ton. There's so many people that have vacation homes from Birmingham and Nashville, and Memphis, and surrounding cities. They have houses there. It's gotten so crowded. It's a good thing for the community though.
Yeah, it's it is. Smith's a very beautiful lake.
Yep, we love it. We have a good time out there.
I have a good time everywhere I go.
Hey,
as long as I'm on the water, I love being on the water.
We got to talk about sponsors, and I want to talk about your sponsors. Who is sponsoring this podcast?
Me, myself, and I.
Dude, listen. I have listened to every one of your podcasts, and I drive a lot for work, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. Okay, and I'm hooked. Like, you're good at it. It's fun to listen to.
I appreciate it.
And
I really do.
Yeah, you got a really cool thing going, but there's too many businesses in Coleman that could be supporting you and doing this. Like, we couldn't do what we do without sponsors.
Right, yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, imagine you got a prize pack, you're giving it away, and you got your sponsors. Listen, Mason, pony up, buddy. You just had you on the podcast. I should be getting a free oil change at the end of this thing, or tire rotation or something. We need to do some. You got good pipes. You can sell. I can hear it in your voice. Yeah. So I need, give them something. Like, what would they get if Holly Pond Tire and Lube sponsors this podcast? What would it sound like at the end of the podcast? And what would we be getting as a prize pack?
I would think y'all need like tire rotation. Oil
no, but how would you pitch it? How would it go? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you are. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Holly Pond Tire and Lube. I would probably have to tell a joke about
that. May be why you don't have sponsors.
I reached out to Natural Light, but I didn't hear back.
No, that's going too big. What you can do?
I thought about selling some spots, because I can actually record. You can actually record it, and you can just be like Holly Pond Tire and Lube, Go check them out for the tires, oil changes.
Oh yeah, you just play it in
friendly face, whatever, best deals, and but I hadn't even really reached out. I really haven't.
We just pitched Carly's business. We got nothing. Well, we got free shirts out of it.
Yeah, sure did. I'm gonna wear mine.
So
I'm gonna be the only one with one.
Yep.
Talk about signing autographs. This is one of the biggest things for me. I always thought that was so awesome, like seeing people sign autographs. You sign autographs, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Yes. When was the first time you did?
I think it was at a boat show a few years ago, and so I just pretty little cursive, like what I learned at school. But then I saw the big dogs, their handwriting and how they do, and I'm like, oh, that's bad. and then I saw the top people doing it all around, and I was like, man, I gotta get into that. But it's still
changing it up.
Working on it. I'm still working on it. But because I'm sure you have an autograph up here.
Christian Eccles, and this is a funny story about this one.
Yeah.
Of course, I was talking to him while he was going to sign it, and I messed him up. He said, "I'm gonna bring one back, man," because you can tell. I was talking to him, and he's kept looking up at me. He said, "Man, I just butchered this." I was like, "At least you're signing autographs, dude." Because I reckon most of the time he just signs the VG for Vanilla Gorilla. Yeah. So he's got another fight. He's actually got a fight coming up April the 1st.
Where's it going to be?
I think it's in Trussville.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah, he is. He is a bad dude.
Yeah. But if you look at other people's signature, they have a big letter on the first, and I'm I can't fit that in my name. I don't know how. Trying to stretch out the K a little bit, and I'm like, It's not working.
Volcano, baby.
Yeah, I need to start doing that though. Like,
Yeah.
you know how they draw like a little picture or something. Like he wrote VG.
Mhm.
Like I need to write like a volcano or something.
That'd be good.
Draw you some kind of little small volcano, put you a little bit of smoke on top of
Yeah.
it.
Bro, I might even try that on that one.
Hey, you do draw.
Yeah, I do draw.
Yes. You got a picture in the museum?
Well, no, it was in the museum.
Oh,
But
okay.
we got it back because it was in a art competition and they wanted to get the paintings back. So
Cool. Yeah. So that way, you like doing that in your free time?
that's fun. Yeah.
Walker, he loves to draw. He draws Sonic and Tail. I'll have to get him to show you some. Yeah. Lee Kate ran whenever she knew he was coming up.
I do Stickman. That's as far as it goes. Yeah.
If I look at something like a cartoon character, I can kind of draw it, but if you just sat me down right here and I have nothing to look at, I can't even come up with anything.
I'm not like faces and stuff. Like if it's like a realistic fake, I can't. But like him drawing Sonic, like I could do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like the eyes are easy. It's just like an oval and then like another oval and then like a little cut in it.
See, that's right too. Because I watch Walker watch these videos of drawing, exactly what he's saying.
Animals are hard. Their faces, and then like other stuff like that. But then like landscapes, those are fun. I like doing those, like roads and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because they get farther and farther and farther, and then maybe like a sunset over some. Like I just did something in my art class. I don't take art class, but we were doing some competition or something at school, and I drew like a guy on a horse, and he had like his hat, and he was doing like this with it.
Oh,
And then it's like over a sunset, and then like grass ripple and stuff. That's pretty cool.
I need to see some of those, man. Drawing, I mean, I think you're born with it. You know what I mean? The artistic part of it. Yeah, just Tristan Priest, tattoo artist. That's Jesse's brother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of his stuff is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, and I reckon he just sits down and draws, like he's talking about. Like he sounds exactly like one of the YouTube videos Walker's watching to draw Sonic. Like he can already picture what he looks like and stuff. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. Your brother, I listened to the podcast when he was on there.
Adam.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this a little bit, but he got to reminding me of this kid that we know. His name's Rocker Steiner.
Oh, you used to tell me about that.
Yeah. So I want to talk to him to see if he's ever been around him. But so Rocker is, he used to ride for Hyperlight. And so this kid, it comes from the Steiner family. If you've been in Austin, Texas, they own Steiner Ranch, which is a peninsula on the lake there. And they're big in rodeo. So I know your brother had to call some of their stuff.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
Sure.
But so his granddad won a world championship in bull riding. The dad, Sid, won a world championship in steer wrestling.
Sid sounds familiar.
Sid Steiner.
Yeah,
so
you said that.
If you don't know this family, they if you watch Yellowstone, which a lot of people do, there's an episode where they have a Bronco that nobody could ride on at Yellowstone, and so they take this Bronco to the Steiners and they let Rocker ride it, and if you remember the episode, he says, it doesn't buck hard enough, so they couldn't get rid of the horse.
I only watched just a little bit of Yellowstone.
That's Rocker Steiner, and that's his dad and granddad. Well, Rocker used to be on the Hyperlight team. I guess he still is technically. But they were huge into water sports. And then as Rocker got older, he started riding Broncos. Right. And he just set the world record for the highest score in Bronco riding.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a pretty cool story. But the photographer for Hyperlight hangs out with them a lot, really good friends. The team manager for Hyperlight hangs out with those guys. And so we spent some time with him at product shoots, but we'll still message from time to time. I'm trying to find a close rodeo that he's going to be at where we can go and support him. But I'd love to talk to your brother about them.
I need to ask him. He listens to these too. I need to ask him about that for sure.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. just knowing, man, you meet so many,
I guarantee
so many cool people. We met.
I mean, you got to think y'all go all over.
Yeah, we know the guy who created Candy Crush, the game, and then he sold it. He's worth ridiculous amounts of money. Man, I don't know who all have we met. We've met some crazy people through wakeboarding.
Candy Crush.
Yeah.
I mean, would you I would love to sit down at a bar beside somebody like that and be like,
yeah.
How'd you come up with that?
His name is Lorne Abney. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to play that game. I think I made it. You finally just get to a spot where you can't do it anymore, Where you can't.
I don't really play it much, but Zach got me into this hunting game. I don't know what it is. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm hooked on it.
We need to go hunting. Joseph and them, they ask me all the time to go in the wintertime. Y'all need to go down there.
So we just, my buddy Brian, that I talked about earlier, we went on they've got a bunch of land over in Mississippi, and we went hunting over there. I killed a 6 or 8 point with Cruz in the hunting stand. And tell them about your shot, Kane.
Did you get one?
No. we were in the stand. A bunch of doe walk up. First deer, and he's like, it was getting really dark, so I ain't gonna get nothing better than a doe. So we couldn't get a buck that day. And I set up, and I go to shoot it. I hit it. We see blood go out, and it runs away. And we find the blood drops of it. And we couldn't find the deer.
Really?
Yeah, we couldn't find the deer. It was a dead shot.
So I call 10 minutes later.
No. I said, okay. So Brian comes over there. Zach calls him. He's like, "Can you see the deer? Can you see the deer? We're trying to track it down." And then a minute later we hear a big gunshot. I was like, "Oh God, he just got a big buck." He brings us back over there because finally we give up. I go over there. It's like a big 6 point or 8 point, like two tiny ones, but a big 6 point, big guy.
He was devastated.
And I'm over there just watching this.
I thought he was going to say his deer ran off and somebody else shot it.
No,
No.
We were in a different green field. Him and Zach were hunting a different one, and I shot this deer, and they come pulling up, and they put it in the truck, and Kane's just head down the whole time. He didn't get his.
Yeah.
Hey, those things can go a long ways to being hit.
Yeah.
They're seeing even those Creedmoors, they'll go right through them.
We went out the next day, and Cruz is all fired up. He's 8, and he's wanting to shoot a deer so bad he can't stand it. And he falls asleep in the treehouse in the shooting house. And
I do too.
He falls asleep. The sun starts going down. There's probably 12 deer out in this green field. And I bump Cruz. "Hey, wake up, buddy, wake up." He gets up and he looks, and his eyes get really big. I get the rifle set up. I mean, he's looking through the scope. He starts tearing up. He's shaking like crazy. And I was like, "Buddy, you don't have to if you don't want to." And he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Okay, well, put it in the sights. Slowly squeeze." Couldn't do it. He starts crying. He gives me the gun. He's like, "I can't do it." He's like, "You shoot it." And I said, Cruz, I'm not going to shoot it. I already shot one yesterday. Yeah. And he starts getting aggravated. He's like, "Give me the gun. I'm going to shoot it." So he sits back up, shaking, crying. I felt so bad for him, but he ultimately could not do it. Could not pull the trigger on it.
We mounted his deer.
It did a skull mount on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And so he has it in his room.
That's cool. Did you see the bobcat? That's the only animal I've ever even really killed. I shot that bobcat back here.
No, that's it.
Yeah, it was like using I got a deer feeder down here.
Mm-hmm.
I might have 2 or 3 spots or something. I had a little 4 point showed up this year, and I just been looking at them. Well, I started noticing the raccoons came in. They were eating all my corn and everything. You could just get a glimpse of this thing in a video. I mean, it was just straight through. And I actually ended up getting a still picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the bobcat. And he was just kind of stretched, out or whatever. So I ended up buying me a tree stand. I stuck it down there. And the first day, I guess it was the first. I might have hunted one evening maybe. And like the first day I really went down there, was like, I'm going to sit it out or whatever. I stayed a couple hours and that wind was blowing. I didn't have enough clothes on. So I came back and told the kids I'm going to go down there about 4:30, right before dark. Because that's when that's when they come out. And it sucks because it's really not a good story. I was just sitting there and I look up and I'm like, there's the bobcat.
There it is.
It was just right there. I mean, and he's like, he acted like he was smelling, like he kept putting his nose up there, like he was smelling or whatever. And I shot him. I bet I didn't see him for 30 seconds before I shot him.
Yeah.
But it is kind of cool. I threw it in the brush pile, and then my brother-in-law and him was over here, and they're like, I can't believe, like, that's the first animal, like, you've killed in how long? I'm like, oh, my God, I can't even remember. You know, besides birds or something, or snake or whatever. Mm-hmm. They kept on talking about it. It was already dark and everything. I said, let's go get it. So I ended up going to get it. I got it in the freezer. I hadn't sent it off yet, but, man, those things are expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive to
mount.
They
want $750 to $1,000 to mount
Is it full body?
Yeah, I'm going to do a full body, which I shot it with a 30-06, so it's one side's basically not there. I will tell you, though, Bobcat's tough, because when I shot him, you know, I'm still looking through the scope. I shoot him, and I see him go down. You know, I took my gun, you know, and just kind of set it back on the rest there. And I was watching it. That thing sits up like on its butt, wasn't using its front arms. Like sat up on its butt, made out some kind of little yelp, and then fell, and it was dead. But you shouldn't, I guarantee you I put another bullet in that chamber like in 2 seconds when that thing raised. I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is. Kind of neat, though. I don't even really, I think I might have seen like one or maybe 2 bobcats in a while before, you know, and counting the one I shot. You know, so I hadn't, especially behind the house, you know.
Yeah.
But they're pretty wicked, man. They are. I mean, like.
We hear coyotes around the house all the time, but I'm not a hunter. I've killed 2 deer in my life, and I mean, whatever. Like, I could go the rest of my life and not hunt or fish, and I'd be fine.
See, I like going to the hunting club, just hang out. Like, we're sitting right here talking's my game, man. That's what I like to do. I like to tell jokes, you know, or whatever, so.
Yeah.
But. Y'all got anything else? You got any more sponsors?
Give them the list of sponsors.
All right. So we got Billabong. It helps me with all my clothes. I got their pants on right now.
Billabong?
Yeah, Billabong. Then
is that the hat too? I like that.
Oh, that's pants.
Okay. Keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No. Then we got Hyperlight. It helps me with boards and everything. And we talked about Russell Marine. Mm-hmm. That's a boat sponsor. Then Flipside. We have a sponsorship with them, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, let me explain this so you don't mess up. How can I say this? We're not supposed to say anything, but so
which
I got this because I don't want you to mess this up. So we got approached by a company over the winter that's going to help us out a lot.
Really?
But we cannot. So it's an energy drink company.
I swear I was thinking about that today.
And so they said, look, don't thank us, don't mention our name, nothing, because there's actually laws around underage kids.
That's like he's not 18.
Yeah.
A lot of them say that on there.
So it's pretty cool. What they do is they approached us. We had a couple of Skype calls with them, talked with them, met each other. The local rep kind of turned them on to Kane. He'd seen him at some tournaments and whatnot. And so we had a couple of calls with the team manager, and he was like, look, we want to help you guys out, but we can't sponsor him. But what we can do is help you until he becomes of age. If he keeps progressing and doing what we feel like he's going to do, they're kind of rolling the dice on him.
Yeah.
So they're like, can you think of anything outside the box that we can help you with? And so a lot of it's training. Like, it's so expensive to get down to a coach and do that thing. So they were like, that's perfect. Let us help you. And man, did they step up. So we're going to try to take advantage of it, and hopefully through the years we develop a good relationship with them, and it turns into something big.
I'm sure y'all will. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, but again, we could not do this without sponsors. So we want to give back. We want to help other kids. Even if you're the 99%er that just wants to go ride, and you enjoy being out on the water, come get in the boat. Let's go ride.
We need to talk about that, your Instagrams and stuff, so somebody could contact you if they wanted to. What are your stuff
Yeah,
on there.
my Instagram is _Kane Ward, no spaces, and then _ again. And
that's with a K. Kane.
Kaneward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So underscores on both ends.
Yep.
Okay. And then you have a Facebook, right? Or you mainly just Instagram?
Sure. I don't have a phone, so he runs it all.
Okay.
According to Kane is the last kid on the face of the earth that doesn't have a cell phone. So
you don't have a cell phone?
No, I won't. We're trying to hold out as long as possible.
Stay in the water, man. You can't use that phone in the water. You ain't gonna play no Fortnite. I heard that too.
So we've got he does have a Facebook page. We don't really. I think I've got it linked where when we post anything, it goes to the Facebook page. Right. But I really never get on there and monitor it or anything.
That's what I was supposed to say. I've seen the Instagram. You sent me some Instagram stuff. I saw YouTube. On YouTube, you the same thing.
Yeah, man,
I YouTube. I just write his name there, Wakeboard.
If you Google Kane Ward Wakeboard on YouTube, you're going to see stuff from Sean Murray and JB O'Neill and Hyperlight.
A lot of them, yeah.
And they're all they all ride for Hyperlight, and they've got the two of the biggest YouTube followings for wakeboarding. Their channels are very successful. We tried to do YouTube. I can't do it. It is so much work. I'm out. I cannot do it. It's a whole second job, and the people who are making money off of it, they'll video everything and just drop the cards off at some third party, and they do the videos for them because it's just so time consuming.
It is. It really is.
But I'm not doing that unless I'm making money, and I'm not going to make money unless I'm putting out content. And so it's kind of a catch there. But I think with kids, the only successful, I studied this quite a bit, and the only successful YouTube channels you're going to see of kids, I don't care what they're doing, there's an adult in the episodes driving the episode and keeping it entertaining and fun, and the kid's like a sidekick. I ain't doing that. I can't, I'm not good.
You're not going to be like Ryan's?
No.
Ryan's World or
Ryan's Toy Review? Yeah, we actually did a little YouTube.
I saw that.
That we gave to Hyperlight that kind of made fun of Ron's Toy Review. But anyway, we're out. Like, if Kane gets older, to make money on YouTube, you've got to have 1,000 subscribers and then so many hours of watch time. So he's got over 1,000 subscribers. So he's got a start. He'll have to take it over when he gets older, and he can, lead an episode and do his own thing. Go for it.
If we would do YouTube, we'd have to do shorts. They have this thing, and it's kind of like Reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
But way safer. And they put out stuff, and it's just less than a minute videos. You can just scroll.
Some of them are 10 seconds.
Yeah. Well, it's basically so you've got TikTok, Instagram, and then YouTube is trying to compete in that world with their shorts. It's a lot like a reel. TikTok reel or an Instagram reel. But Kane's grown. We've put a lot of work into his Instagram, and it's grown a pretty good following. And so we actually get paid monthly for how his page does. Yeah. And so it's, for me, I can throw a reel together in 20 minutes, and it'll get 30,000 to so many million views. Or I can work for hours on a YouTube episode and get 600 views. I'm out. Yeah. I don't want to do it. It's too much.
Yeah, I'm in that boat.
You want to get burnt out?
Yes.
Get into the YouTube world.
Well, see, that's what these videos are so long, and I video with a phone, which I'm going to buy an iPad, but it'll take all night for this video to go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's
well, I can show you some of that.
Yeah, you're going to show me some tricks.
Yeah.
So I may just need to hire you.
No, you got to pay me real well.
Really good.
Yeah.
No, I'm having fun with this. I really am. I love it.
I can tell you love it, and that's when you love something and you're passionate about it, and you're not doing it for the money will come.
Right, it's not a job to me.
Right,
this is fun. I wasn't man.
If you're trying to do it to try to make money at it, you're gonna get burnt out and you're gonna hate it.
I think so too. Yeah.
But I can tell you love it, and the money's about to come because we're gonna get you some sponsors. Yeah,
I'm gonna go out on a campaign or something. Yeah. Mason Stewart really should sponsor me, honestly.
if you're gonna have all these Coleman people and the majority of people listening are from Coleman, why not? Right?
Yeah,
It's good
that's
advertisement.
Right. That's right.
Where's it? How many subscribers do you have that listen?
It varies. Total listens can be anywhere from 114 to I think 184 or something.
Yeah.
That's like total.
Is that like on YouTube or is that?
It registers off Buzzsprout, so that's Spotify, iHeart,
Gotcha.
all that kind of stuff. But see, each week, so like basically you're kind of building up like a clientele almost.
Yeah.
Like Kane's buddies will listen to this. Your friends will listen to it. You know, like you might even snag somebody from Australia, you know, or something. Then they start listening. Then they go back and they listen to other ones.
Yeah.
So I think once I get about 25 or 30 episodes on, it's like me. You know, I listen to Joe Rogan a lot.
Content. Yeah.
And I'll click on Joe Rogan's thing and I'm like, this guy's not interested in me.
Yeah.
Not Joe Rogan, but his guest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't just give up on it. I just go back through his stuff and I'm like, I don't think I heard this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to start watching these.
Are you? Cool,
Yeah.
man.
I've seen these up here and I'm like,
Yeah, that's Jesse Priest and then Jed and I got Christian Eccles.
So we through our connections
You.
with Hyperlight, the photographer, his name's Rodrigo Donoso, one of the coolest guys you've ever met. He shoots pictures for everything in Hyperlight. He also shoots for Cowboy Cerrone, the MMA fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just recently
I was
retired.
going to say he did.
He does like all the rock star girls, and he does tons of rodeo stuff. But I'd never watched any fighting at all. I didn't care anything about it. But because of that connection, I started watching all Cowboys fights and listening to his podcast and all that kind of thing. So I feel like I know him a little bit, even though we've never met. I know very little about him. But it's kind of cool, like you're saying, kind of snowballs.
You do. You kind of, like when I had Jesse Priest on, I could tell Jed's went up. You know, I mean, like it just, and a lot of people, you know, they may be interested in cornhole, but they're not interested in this.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people that's like, Kane Ward, 3-time world champion wakeboarder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coleman, Alabama, you know, and it is. The main reason and I've been saying this is like to recognize people around here. I mean, there's so many like
I appreciate you doing
people around here,
Yeah.
you know,
It's cool.
big things.
It's a good idea.
You know? Yeah, I love it. You know,
You know, with wakeboarding in Coleman, Jacob, so many people, like I've almost stopped trying because people will come up to us that know us, that know what we're about, and they're like, "Is Kane still kneeboarding? Is Kane still out there skiing?" No, you have no clue what he's doing. No, that and two, like in Coleman, if it's not the big three, if it's not football, baseball, and basketball, they don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I have look. We'll be on a flight to Orlando or coming home. He'll get recognized. We were in what amusement park, not Disney, but Universal. Kid comes up to him. Are you Kane Ward? Like, you know, you go to California, like Sacramento, you go to Orlando, they know who he is because that's a water sports central kind of location.
Just kind of like that
Yeah. You go to Coleman, Alabama, and they're like, that's that long-haired kid. You know, they don't even know what wakeboarding is. No clue.
You got nice hair, by the way.
It ain't looking real nice right now. I got it cut.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's looking good though.
Yesterday was long. It was real long.
I'm growing this mullet out, man. It's taking forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it does to grow an hair.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, I'm gonna come on down with it.
Get it curling out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Then I start wearing bandanas and stuff. You know,
the backstage
I like
pass.
that hat though. That hat's cool.
It's pretty cool. I found it in we're up in Disney. We went like shopping because I heard they had like a Stance store and like a Lego store up there.
Yeah.
And we were just messing around because it was our last day and we were heading out after that. So had to waste some time and went up there and had some money from the grandparents. So bought this new hat because I lost my other one. We were at church and I forgot it. And these girls that knew me, they said it on they said it somewhere in one of the rooms that I could go easily pick it up. And one of the cleaners found it and they put it and it went to like this place where they like give it away, like give stuff away for free, like food and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And,
yeah.
So he lost his favorite hat. We had to go find a new one.
I like that hat though, man. That's as wakeboard lingo. That's a sweet lid, bro. Sweet lid.
Sweet. Sick.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you shredding and ripping some more, man. And I won't call it, next time you come on, I'm not going to call it a double front flip. I'll call it the F7 screwdriver.
Yep.
There you go.
Nailed it.
So, but man, I appreciate y'all coming on. I hope to goodness y'all come back again. Yeah. Everybody comes on and is like, I was a little nervous. And even me, I'll be like, I was a little nervous too.
Yeah. Starting
the podcast sucks. Like even I introduced you, and your dad called us like wakeboarding. It's like, he's a 3-time world champion. What? You know what I mean? It's like, it's part of it. But it's all for fun.
Well, it's in the title. You know.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the title. I'm gonna actually get you to help me write that out because Whitney always tries to. She'll say you need to come up with a different word besides talked. He talked about. He told. Or whatever. Like, so we do a little bit of Google and we have a pretty good time with that because I'll write out some huge word.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, why you looking like that? No, my gosh. They're gonna know you didn't come up with that. I'm like, that's the pronoun or whatever this, or whatever. So, but yeah, I enjoy it. So y'all check out Kane, watch his videos and stuff, and see that world championship run there at the end. I love that video, man. My hair stood up. I'm not kidding you. Like it was awesome.
I when I sent you that this morning, I played it again. I hadn't watched it in in a long time, and got a little misty eyed. Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah, man, that's proud dad moment.
Who gets more nervous? That's the last question.
Oh, it's got to be me. I pace, man. I pace all over the place. I can't sit down.
He's freaking out. like I'll be over there just like sitting on the side, and he'll be like pacing the whole time.
I can't sit still, man. Not like I'm going crazy inside.
Like he's got to get away. Like he can't. Like I don't know.
I don't want anybody talking to me.
Yeah.
It's like I don't do. I'm thinking about this. Yeah.
But after the competition, like after I ride, he's great. Like
because
you chill with everybody. Yeah.
Let that big deep breath out. And,
yeah. Well, you want the best for your kids.
Oh yeah, definitely. You do a good job. Yeah. So, well, all right, folks. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace out.
Peace. 'Cause we come from the land.